You're listening to the N.W.A, the Nubian Wrestling Advocates.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Yo, it's Righteous Reg. It's a case for the safe, keep a space for the Nubians. Unfiltered, off-kilter, the professor, the godfather, host wrestling the N.W.A, not keep guessing, the views and expressions, you know the rest it's pod excellence, get the message, advocates for Nubian wrestling, you're listening to the best again, black wrestling in the ring we invested in, Nubian kings and queens we invested in, it's for the culture and we reppin' it. It's for the culture and we reppin' it.
And welcome to the N.W.A. Podcast, the Nubian Wrestling Advocates, the show all about getting color in the professional wrestling business. We are back and better than ever, ladies and gentlemen, for arguably our biggest episode of the program for this calendar year. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what season it is. And so we're not even going to waste any time. We have to get into what we're here to talk about. So without any further ado, let me introduce the advocates. Of course, I am the Godfather, Nate Milton, your favorite podcaster's favorite podcaster. And I'm joined by, first of all, you know what? We're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to switch it up. You know, we're going to let the young folks take the stage. So let me bring up the youngest in charge. He's the man that gives you all the news that's fit to read here at Post Wrestling, one of the hardest working brothers in the game. And I know he is excited for hashtag Devante season. Y'all give it up for Andrew Thompson. What's good, nephew? Is Andrew's mic on? Okay, we can't hear Andrew Thompson. You know what? We're going to come back to nephew. We work out these technical difficulties and whatnot. But speaking of difficulties, there's one man on this program who can be a little difficult at times, depending on who you talk to. He's somebody who some of y'all may know as Moderna Kris. Some of y'all may know as Mimosa Kris. Some of y'all may even know him as the Angry Intellectual. Next weekend, many of y'all will know him as the man who said no mas to Omos when they meet up at Wale Mania. But to me, he's always been the professor. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all give it up for the Professor Kris Ealy. Can we rock? What's up, Doc?
Am I still muted? I think.
Go ahead, speak on it, Kris.
Oh, yeah, cool. I was muted for a second. Hey, what's up? Before we start, I want to give a RIP shout out to Bobby Caldwell. So, funny story. One of my family members didn't know that Bobby Caldwell was a white guy.
Like Marcus Vanderberg and Johnny B.
Yes,
Bad.
Exactly. Because, you know, he does that what you won't do for love. Yeah, and he's that, and that song's been remixed and remade so many times by hip-hop artists. Bobby Caldwell was a white guy. He was white chocolate, man. So R.I.P. to Bobby Caldwell, and I'm looking forward to this show because there is so much to get at, and I don't even know what takes priority.
Well, you know what takes priority right now. The youngest in charge is back, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Thompson, nephew. How you feeling this month?
We got an echo going on.
Oh, I got an echo.
Yeah, you got a little echo.
Wait, can y'all hear me?
I hear you, but I'm echoing. No.
It's still there?
Yeah, you're a little bit distant, brother. You're a little bit distant.
Yeah.
What is going on, bro? Is it bad?
Hey, it's a conspiracy against you this week, Andrew.
I don't know what's going on. Hey, go ahead. I'm going to join back.
All right, so we going to keep it rolling. We're going to keep it rolling because, Kris, we have a special guest this month to preview the biggest event on the wrestling calendar. You know, wrestling is a sport that's built on storytelling, in my opinion, Kris.
Yes.
And this year, WrestleMania is taking place in your neck of the woods in Los Angeles. Some would say Hollywood. So I think this week we need to go to the proprietor of Tru Heel Heat, our good brother SP3, and talk some true Hollywood stories. Sid, aka SP3, is back with us on the program. How you doing, brother?
Thank y'all for having me. I was in the backstage area cracking up at and so much of how this show has started. Andrew, man, StreamYard.
Andrew was going through it.
StreamYard don't like Andrew, but thank you guys for having me back on the show. My first time on the NWA podcast, I think in like nearly 2 years.
Yeah.
So I'm very
long-term booking.
Yes, I'm very happy to be here ahead of the show of shows, the big weekend, WrestleMania weekend, where honestly, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm more excited for the stuff around WrestleMania more than WrestleMania itself.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, Cody Devante Rhodes, the savior of racism, the savior of friendship, is about to, you know, end what I want to see the most, the 1,000-day reign of Roman Reigns. But
we gonna talk about that.
I'm more into everything else, but I'm glad to be here to talk it all with the Godfather and the Professor and the youngest in charge. It's gonna be a great episode. Thanks for having me.
Yes, we're glad to have you, Sid. And yes, Andrew is in charge of everything, it seems, except for technology tonight, as StreamYard is doing its damnedest to try to silence the young brother. But as Sid mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to focus this episode this month primarily on WrestleMania, giving our thoughts on the build, some of the storylines, even giving some predictions. But before we get into that, we do have a couple of news stories to hit on, and normally that's Andrew's bailiwick to hit us with the news. But since the nephew is not here, we are going to keep it moving in his honor. And I think, you know, not to steal Cody Devante Rhodes' catchphrase here, SP3, but so what do you guys want to talk about? Because before we got on the mics, you know, I'm pulling back the curtains here. My man Kris was so excited to get into this discussion about some recent comments by one Phil Brooks, aka the Muffin Man. Yes, CM Punk. SP3, you know, normally Andrew would give us the clinical breakdown of what happened, but let's just get some immediate kind of reactions to the comments. What did you make of what Brother Brooks had to say this week, man?
I found it very interesting because I see it's a multifaceted discussion when it comes to how CM Punk has responded to things. Basically, it was a report from Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer message board, kind of explaining the build-up to Jon Moxley versus CM Punk last year. If you remember, the August 24th AEW Dynamite had the Jon Moxley versus CM Punk match that only went 3 minutes, with Punk's injury, his foot injury, costing him the victory and Jon Moxley becoming the undisputed AEW World Champion. And CM Punk decided, he was gonna respond to that. He was gonna respond to this report and went off on Instagram, burying or blasting AEW, Tony Khan, John Moxley, Chris Jericho, Dave Meltzer. Everybody caught some strays, and I think that with CM Punk, it's a multifaceted discussion because I feel that he has every right to feel how he wants to feel. I think he's very valid to feel how he wants to feel based on what other people say about him, what has been said in the locker room, stuff that's happened, on screen with promos or EVPs talking behind his back. He is validated to feel however he wants to feel. But his reaction makes him part of the problem. His reaction to those said emotions and how people are making him feel makes him a part of the problem. And he is the biggest part of the problem is because when he starts how this thing first started with the Hangman Adam Page promo, to most people that I heard around the wrestling world, that promo went over their head. They had no idea what Hangman Adam Page was talking about in the first place. But CM Punk allowed that to fester inside of him for 2 whole months. So when he came back after his foot injury, he wanted to make it public information and called out Hangman Adam Page and made it a bigger thing than it already was because everybody had already moved on by then. Then he allowed all the rumors and innuendo and reports about Colt Cabana no longer being with AEW or being written off AEW and going to Ring of Honor. He also made that public information with his all-out press conference, rant and, the burying the EVPs, burying the company, burying Tony Khan right to his face. That was made public information. And then that led to the backstage brawl. We have nothing. We don't know all the information of who started the brawl, how it started, how the fight started. But we know for a fact CM Punk made his issues with Hangman Adam Page public with that promo when he came back in August. CM Punk made his issues public with Colt Cabana and Hangman Adam Page and the Elite in the press conference. And now he's making all this public about John Moxley not wanting to lose to him, not he didn't like the build. This man's never saw a Rocky movie, which he's an uncultured swine for. He doesn't like Rocky 3 ideas. He's calling Chris Jericho a stooge and a liar. He's saying that Chris Jericho is stooging off and leaking to journalists. He doesn't like Dave Meltzer. All of this is very emotional things, and I'm just like, dude, get tougher skin and stop coming up with a third hand to point more fingers at all the people that you are blaming. And because you have made all this stuff public, you have to also make public that you deserve some type of responsibility, some type of accountability for all this problem. You are part of it. So you have to start making that public that you are taking some accountability for your part in all of this, because all we have seen publicly is him point the finger at everybody else. Everybody else is the problem except for Phil.
So what you're saying is Phil Brooks needs to just look in the mirror and be like, hello, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. But Andrew Thompson is back. We're going to try this one more again. The nephew, the youngest in charge, is back. So I want to hear Andrew's thoughts on CM Punk here in a second. But before that, to everybody watching, if you want to get your thoughts and opinions in on this conversation, on this discussion, on our WrestleMania preview, there is one way to make sure you jump to the front of the line. Everybody can put their chats in and we will get to them when we can during the course of the evening. But if you want to jump to the front of the line, like Kris at Wale Mania, cutting in front of everybody until he gets to Omos, and then what happens may happen. If you want to get to the front of the line, hit that super chat button, show some love, and we will get to your comment first and foremost. Now, speaking of getting to thoughts and comments first and foremost, Andrew Thompson, nephew, glad to have you back. What are your thoughts on this CM Punk situation, brother?
Well, first of all, am I back? Like, can I be heard? Is it okay?
I think yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Great. No echo.
Oh wait, no full screen because it's gonna freeze. No full screen. No full screen. No full screen. It's gonna freeze. Get me out. Take me out. Don't put me on the full screen. See, look, that's that bad luck. You see that, Chris?
We just gotta keep it right here. Keep it right.
He just tried to sabotage me, Chris. You see that? You see that, Chris? You see the conspiracy? But you know what? I walked right in what SP3 was talking about. I was walking right in what SP3 was talking about never having seen Rocky. And look, brother, I've never seen a Rocky film either. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. Never seen one.
My brother, you're in your 20s. This man is 44 years old. He was at least 1 year old when the first Rocky movie came out. I had about 4 or 5 Rocky movies come out before I was born, and this man has never seen the movie. I've seen all of them, and I was born a decade after him. That is uncalled for. That is uncultured swine.
Have you not seen the Creed movies, Andrew? Any of those?
I see the Creed movies. I seen all the Creed movies.
Okay,
but I
so
never
if you've seen the Creed movies and you don't want to watch any of the Rockies, the only ones I would be like, come on, you got to watch them, dog, is 4, because that's when Rocky defeats communism, and then Rocky Balboa when he's like old man Rocky, which is a perfect transition to CM Punk.
3 and 4. You watch.
Oh, okay. So you like 3 with Clubber Lang too?
You gotta have Mr. T, Clubber Lang.
Skip 5. Don't ever watch 5. 5 is straight garbage.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 3, 4, and Balboa. I think you should watch, Andrew.
That's fair. Balboa is fair. That's fair.
All right. Is Andrew frozen?
Yes.
You frozen.
Andrew.
Yeah.
All right, so
Andrew, StreamYard is gonna throw a lot of things at you, Andrew. It throws things at all of us. StreamYard knocks all of us down. But it ain't about how hard StreamYard hits you, Andrew. It's about how hard it hits you, and you keep coming back. And he's gone. Chris, thoughts on CM Punk?
Okay, so here's my thing with the CM Punk thing. Just like with Leo Rush, when it first happened, I think I'm pretty good at telling when somebody's responsibility is there. And why is the full screen on it's SP3? Okay,
it's one of those nights, fellas.
All right, cool. So anyway, I can always tell when it's the wrestler's fault and when it's management's fault and all that kind of stuff. Like even with the CM Punk thing, I still contend that right after he cut that horrible promo or angry rant or whatever you want to call it against those elite guys, I don't think it was a good idea to knock on that guy's door. That's a management thing. And I think that even though I was against that, that's something you learn through experience. If you've been a manager long enough, you know not to do that kind of thing, kind of let the situation chill. CM Punk has got some issues, man. And that's just the bottom line of it. And like Sid said, it's not even about is he at fault or is he not at fault. It's not even about whose fault it is anymore. It's about how do you handle these angry situations? Like what are you doing to like you have a grievance, and are you gonna state publicly every single time you have a grievance against one of those fools? It just you start looking suspect after a while. It's like you can be right in your argument, and I'm not saying CM Punk is right or wrong, but you can be right in your argument. But if every single time you publicly address the issue, that's a problem. Like with the Leo Rush thing, when he's telling Tony Khan to apologize publicly on Twitter. It's like, what the hell do you think is going to happen from that, my dude? And this is the same thing with CM Punk. It's like, you can't keep doing this. This is not how grown-ups operate. It just ain't. With all that said, AEW needs CM Punk. I hate to say it like that, but they kind of do. Or
they at least need Punk more than he needs them.
Yeah, they need to like here's the thing, and the bad blood seems too palpable there. And I think what AEW needs to do is they need to either have some kind of reconciliation with Punk, or they got to just release Punk and let him move on, and they got to move on. Because as long as he's under contract, as long as you go to AEW's website and you see CM Punk listed on their roster as an active talent, then you're not going to avoid questions about CM Punk, and you're not going to avoid people asking, when is he coming back? You know, and you're not going to be able to avoid us doing a show about this dude every couple months, because that's what it's averaging right now. It's like every other month we have to do a show where we talk about CM Punk and this bullshit. It's very, very good for our YouTube numbers. It helps it out, but you know, like we're at the point of diminishing returns almost with this beef. They got to figure something out.
Well, real quick, Kris, we got some housekeeping to tend to. Got a couple super chats. Want to shout out all of y'all watching this evening, and of course, we got some love for the brother SP3. Chilling with Chase. Look in my eyes. What do you see? SP3 on the big screen. Shout out to SP3. And then we got another. We got another super chat. Let's see, where did it go? There we go. Got another super chat from our guy T. Anthony Ald. Bad luck Thompson is cold, man. Ice cold. Don't worry. Y'all sleeping on the nephew. Y'all are sleeping on this young man, Andrew Thompson, but he will be back. He shall return. We'll bring Andrew back in here in just a little bit. But Kris, let me get my take off on Punk real quick. I think I agree with a lot of what's been said. I also agree that, and we talked about this initially when the Punk stuff popped off. Like, I can relate. You know what I'm saying? Dude is not the young rebel, not the young iconoclast that he was in his 20s.
Yeah.
He's the dude that he was beefing with in his 20s now, because he's a 40-year-old man, and his patience and his tolerance level for the BS and the minutia of the business has decreased and diminished. Does that mean that he is right in his actions? Absolutely not. You know, he should be able to handle this better, should be able to handle this more professionally. But I feel like the point you hit on is correct. CM Punk does not really need these dudes unless he wants so badly to be back in his ring, because honestly, he could just sit there and chill. Yeah. I think he's a much bigger deal coming to AEW than vice versa. But also, we talked about stories, man. It's the story business. and if I'm Tony Khan, if I'm TK, I'm sitting here like, you know what? This is really uncomfortable. I don't like how he's putting our business on Front Street. But also, if I'm TK, I'm like, if I can manage to soothe these egos, or at least pacify them to some extent, we can make some money off of this. Because it's about the stories. Right. It's about, can I get you to believe my story? And if you got a guy that's been carrying on like this, SP3, for all this time, that just, if you can get the egos to work out, that just makes for a better story, in my opinion.
It's a very difficult situation now, because apparently from the Feifels report, they were on their way. They were on the right path. They were having meetings with Tony Khan and CM Punk, and people close to Punk thought, you know, he originally wanted out of his contract with no non-compete clause. And then more recently, they were saying that he seemed open to returning to AEW and actually seemed like he wanted to do so, and that he had some regret for some of the stuff that went down at All Out. So this was all on the right path. They even talked about him and Kenny Omega having that conversation in the aftermath of the brawl backstage, and him and Punk actually telling Kenny Omega, you're not part of the problem. Once again, I want to say Kenny Omega, the savior of Larry the Dog. Kenny Omega, I'm all here for the Kenneth Omega agenda. Kenneth Omega was the only person who was calm in the situation. He got bit, he got a chair through at him, but he saved a damn dog. That's all I want to say about Kenneth Omega. He's the only person that I don't think is wrong because he didn't kick down anybody's door. I think that Punk initially was angry at the wrong people, it seemed like, because I never thought the Young Bucks or Kenny Omega went to Dave Meltzer, and then Meltzer and Fightful also said that they didn't hear from anyone related to those guys. So it was Punk with kind of just being upset and being mad about the report and taking it out on the wrong people. But I do agree with what Kris said. It wasn't the right time for the Young Bucks or Mega or anyone from AEW to come to his door or knock on his door or kick down his door at that time. That was all wrong. Any way you try to spin it, it was the wrong decision there. But Kenneth Omega did nothing wrong. That's all. But
and that's a rookie decision because these guys are wrestlers. They have no experience with management. So even though it was not the right decision, you can forgive it as a rookie mistake. You know, as the longer that you're a manager, you start picking up on things like this. And I do have to address somebody on Twitter real quick. We got to get our facts straight, okay? CM Punk did not call Dave Meltzer a stooge. CM Punk said that Dave Meltzer was a liar. He said that Chris Jericho is a liar and a stooge. Okay, so that we got to make sure we are understanding that. So with Dave Meltzer, he just doesn't think Dave Meltzer tells the truth. With Jericho, he thinks Jericho doesn't tell the truth. And he's a snitch. So let's get that right. Secondly, I think like I said, I think now we're just at a point now where there's got to be some kind of reconciliation going on, or they just have to part ways with each other, right? Like CM Punk, if he might still be holding a grudge. I think this dude, and this isn't like supposed to be meant as shade or an offensive comment. This guy probably needs some kind of counseling or some kind of person there to talk him down. Someone that he can talk to and release his secrets to. That's not anybody close to him. That's not his wife. Right. That's not his boss. That's just away from the situation. Because at my job, I've got people there I can talk to, like work psychologists that I could talk to and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling at the moment. Third party people. And CM Punk's got to do something, man. Because he's straight edge, so he can't even use "I was drunk or high" for.
Hey man, you don't know what was in them muffins, Kris. You don't know, brother.
Well, if I'm taking him at his word, he's not, doing any extracurricular activity, so he can't even blame inebriation on this shit.
No.
He's got to stop this crap. He really, really does. And this is coming from somebody as a fan of CM Punk, as somebody that wants to see CM Punk back on AEW television. But these infantile outbursts on social media are just not the business.
No, but you know what is the business? WrestleMania, brothers. And I believe our main eventer is back. He is ready to sit at the head of the table. Ladies and gentlemen. Man. No, not ladies and gentlemen. StreamYard. Acknowledge Andrew Thompson.
Can I be heard, bro? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you.
Are we good?
And I don't hear an echo either. So
hey, bro, you know what? Hey, I'm telling y'all right now, SP3, Kris, Brother Nate, this is my last time jumping on StreamYard. I'm not fucking around with StreamYard no more. I'm done with StreamYard. Y'all look, man. I think SP3 has done tremendous. SP3 can fill in for the first 40 minutes of the show every show until my internet get on. It's not even my internet, bro. It's just StreamYard just don't like me, bro. And that's just I have come to grips with this. But let me just weigh on this CM Punk situation real quick before we move on, brother. Because let me just say this about Punk. I think that Tony Khan. Well, first of all, let me just say from what I heard, I think all of you have made great points. I think all of y'all are very, very well informed and said a lot of great points about this whole CM Punk situation. But I think with Tony Khan, I think that it's very much decision time for Mr. Khan, because he is going to have to come to grips with the realization that you are either going to take the risk of letting this dude go, and he could go be petty, and the competition could be petty, and Punk could go back to WWE. I don't think that's going to happen. I just can't see a world where Punk goes to the company, mends bridges with Triple H. Then on top of that, you have Brian Road Dogg James, who's an executive who trashes CM Punk on his podcast literally most weeks, goes in on this man unprovoked.
Nobody gives a fuck about Road Dogg's opinion.
Exactly. That's another thing. But Kris, still in that same, why I do agree with you, I'm pretty sure SP3 and Nate, you would agree that Punk, being the person that he is, from what we know from an outside perspective, he is not going to let that ride.
CM Punk is the pettiest individual that has ever been in the wrestling.
But the thing is who is your biggest enemy at that moment, though? That's kind of how this business works as well.
Who
does he want to smite the most?
Everybody. But see, the thing about Punk is, though, like, I think that just from looking at it from an outside perspective, of course, again, I don't know Punk personally, and I don't know how that man thinks, but from what I see from an outside perspective, he seems to hold grudges. And when it comes to things getting personal between him and other individuals, it's either this is the way it's going to go. Punk is going to get the last word in. He is going to get his stuff off. And if you say something back, he will retaliate. And that's just it's going to keep being tit for tat and tit for tat and tit for tat, and it's never going to stop. But see, what Tony Khan is like, it's like you either let Punk go, and you have that other option of him possibly going to the competition or doing whatever, or you bring this dude back and you take the risk of, I don't want to say alienating, but you sort of lose some of the alienating some of the people in the locker room. Word. And like even with, I'm pretty sure y'all saw the tweet with Jungle Boy last night when Dan Housen was talking about how Brody King and CM Punk invited him to the movies or something like that, and Dan Housen, Jungle Boy put a quote tweet up of a Netflix. He said they got some nice stuff on Netflix instead, and it was a link to the Rocky movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just little stuff like that. And I think see, I think that if you like, I actually saw a point. I think this point made. I think it was John. I think it was. If whoever this was, I'm pretty sure somebody could correct me. But I saw this point was like, you Punk putting Jericho on blast. Look, you get points. You get points from me, brother. Right, you know what I'm saying? No, but look, you put Jericho on blast. Hey, it's all good with me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Look, hey, Punk. We ain't got no beef with. Go ahead, Kris. Go ahead, Kris.
Here's the thing with that. Because I heard Alvarez, and I heard Meltzer say everybody loves Jericho.
Boo.
I have talked in AEW, and there are people there. I'm not naming
for sure
names, that do not love Jericho the way Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez are trying to spin that, you know. And this is just from what I've heard, unless they're telling something just completely different. Jericho's not this beloved, like, you know,
like he Nelson Mandela in the locker room.
He's not Desmond Tutu. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about. Let's get that out the way. Sorry about that.
No. I mean, Kris, you good. I think we needed that point. But like the piggyback over what Kris saying. Look, you slandering Jericho in these streets, hey, bruh.
Cold game.
Yeah,
you feel me? Look, Jericho catch them strays, but not in all seriousness though. Like all jokes aside, I again like that point. I think it was John who mentioned this in his update. If it wasn't somebody, correct me. But like Jericho is considered a locker room leader. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Yeah. Him, Danielson, Mox. You know what I'm saying? Punk going out there and going at two of the people that are considered to be locker room leaders, and that are locker room leaders, but you know what I'm saying? That's I mean, you probably could have took your shot with somebody else, and like it probably would have been as big a deal. It still would have been big a deal, but like for you to go at two people that the locker room considers like, hey, we go to them for go-to issues, like those are the guys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, he ain't mentioned Danielson, but you know what I'm saying? That unproblematic Brian Danielson. You know what I'm saying? Who got an issue with Danielson? But like I think that further puts a bad just overall cloud over this whole thing even more than it already is. And again, Tony Khan, he's going to have to come to a decision sooner or later whether to bring this dude back. Because what CM Punk got hurt in what's that, September? I'm pretty sure by now he's probably, it's somewhere along the lines of being cleared, or if he's not already, like I think SP3 had mentioned in the FIFA report. So I mean, like, you just want to keep this dude on the sideline, or you want to use what? Because look, like had Nate said, bro, who wouldn't want to see a Punk on your television show, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dude. Like, and there is so much stuff to do with Punk, like even outside of the obvious, you know what I'm saying, going against the elite and all that stuff, like, you know what I'm saying. But there's so much more to do. Like, I think there even something to do with Powerhouse Hobbs. I remember back in 2021 when he did the match with Hobbs, bro. He said one thing that made me feel so much different about. Like, I already had a big. I know what I'm saying. I already thought Hobbs was going to be a big thing, but like when Punk said, "I didn't beat Hobbs, I survived Hobbs," bro, that did so much for him. And it wasn't capitalized on immediately, but you know what I'm saying. Still, it did so much for Hobbs, man. And
that wasn't Punk's fault. That was Tony's fault.
But like I think you can go so many different ways with Punk, man. And but at the same time, is it worth bringing this dude back and then you creating some unnecessary drama that will unfold? Because like if you could do that if you had management that, to Chris's earlier point, like was a little bit more seasoned, and had a little bit more of a firmer grip on things. But you know what, bro? I think, and I know me, you, and Kris had talked about this like after the All Out situation that happened, bro. And we all had made this point, and it was just like I don't think Tony Khan is like a confrontational individual. No, like I can't see. Like, not unless he's drinking on New Year's Eve and tweeting at performers unsolicitedly. No, but look, like even at that all-out press conference, like, bro, Tony looked like he couldn't. Like the idea of snatching that mic away from Punk and like telling him to chill out, like it was like I wouldn't dare.
I think TK did the right thing in that situation given the circumstances. The only people that because Punk was gonna definitely flip that on him if he took that right away. The elite
Tony ain't ready for that.
Yeah,
he ready for that. He ain't built for that.
That shouldn't have knocked on the door or whatever. It's and to piggyback off of something you just said, Andrew. Leadership when you're non-management is not something you can say. It's something that other people have to say about you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the things that CM Punk I think he's trying to tell everybody, I'm the leader in this and stuff. You're not the leader unless everybody else in that company says you're the leader. Exactly. And decides to follow you. You know what I'm saying? It's so much of that bullshit that goes on in the wrestling business too. Like when Ariel Helwani got on in the news and start talking about how awesome his tweet was at Tony Khan. Like that's for other people to say, dumbass. Shout out to Ariel. But it's for other people to say is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Real quick though, like on the Tony, going back to the Punk thing real quick, like on that last part of the message, like I'm honestly surprised that I didn't see Tony jump on Twitter and get at him, like or make some type of comment when he made the part about him going out there and not being cleared. That's a serious accusation right there for you to be throwing out there, like you saying like they basically say, hey man, you don't need to be cleared to go out there and do this, like regardless of whether it was a fucking 5-10 second match, like regardless of whether whatever it is. Him saying that they said, look, man, you're not cleared. It's okay. Still go out there and do it. That's a serious accusation to be making, bro. And like, I'm like genuinely surprised that like, I'm 100% sure that Tony knows what's going on, but
he erased it in 5 seconds. So like,
but I'm talking about it's still spread. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna spread, but like
Tony's not going to go on social media. That's a legal thing now. That's a breach of a breach of contract. And I don't believe that they told him, oh, you don't have to be cleared or anything like that, because like, Exhibit A, the Thunder Rosa situation. You have 5, 10, 15 people saying that Thunder Rosa isn't really hurt enough to be out, but still she hasn't wrestled since August. So if they're not going to force her to come back back and drop the title, the women's championship? Why are they forcing a guy who left another major company because they wanted him to wrestle when he wasn't cleared? That doesn't make any sense. I think that it was a choice that they gave him.
Right, I'm with you.
You either relinquish the title or you can do this squash match and we can get through it. You don't have to be cleared. And I think that was probably the situation. But in Punk's mind, this is how there's always three sides. There's always three sides to the story. There is Punk's side, there's AEW side, and then somewhere in the middle is the truth.
Yeah, that's the truth. What's N.W.A talking about? Right. Like,
yes, N.W.A Starwind. Appreciate the super chat, brother. This is fun getting to watch y'all do y'all thing. What are the WrestleMania matches you are most excited for? So let's get into it. Let's talk about WrestleMania.
Real quick, brother Nate. We do got I got the WrestleMania lineup right here, but there is one thing that I wanted to breeze over real quick that I know Chris wanted to talk about. That brother Vince McMahon, not brother, that man Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah. I'm going to retract that.
Pays WWE $17.4 million for the sexual misconduct allegations.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
WWE released a filing, which noted that McMahon has agreed to reimburse the company $17.4 million. That money has been given back already. McMahon also agreed to cover any other costs associated with the investigation to the sexual misconduct allegations. It's to be noted that McMahon is back with WWE, as we all know, as the executive chairman of the board of directors. I think he was voted back in. In January, McMahon did reach a settlement with former WWF referee Rita Chatterton concerning their 1986 rape allegation against them. Chris, brother, take us away, Chris.
All right, so this is gonna be the highest rated episode of this show because anytime we do this show, if we talk about Bianca Belair and Naomi, the CM Punk stuff, or the Vince McMahon stuff, our live viewers just go nuts. So, this is I'm prepared for all of that. The Vince McMahon stuff is just, my God, man.
Never ending, bro.
It just doesn't end. And this is I really do not know where Vince McMahon and me and Sid got into it a little bit a week ago. I'm not no. I'm not that serious. I'm not here to cape for Vince or Triple H. I'm not here to cape for them. That means lie and
take their side.
Take their side and all that stuff and save them and shit. I'm not here to cap for
Don't
them,
save him.
Basically,
he don't want to be saved.
Yeah, I'm not there to lie for these dudes. But I will say this. I do think there are some differences, albeit small, between the two. I don't think Triple H is this savior that everybody is trying to turn him into being. But I think, like, when we did this show over the last summer, and I don't think Triple H would ever go on Twitter and publicly admonish talent the way he did Naomi, the way Vince McMahon did Naomi and Sasha. I think that is exclusively a Vince thing. That's my opinion. My mind can be changed if there's other proof. The Chad Gable stuff, I think that's Vince. I think that when Vince had his hands off of Chad Gable, he was goofy, but it seemed like they were trying to turn him into a serious wrestler. Now they got fucking Otis being a supermodel or something and just doing the goofiest crap.
Otis.
It's
Man,
horrible.
don't hate body positivity, Chris.
I'm not, man. Look, man, that mocking this dude and saying he's a supermodel is not body positivity. This is some, like, this reminds me of like Married with Children writing, right?
Damn.
I think let me see. I got some notes here. And then another thing that I think is a Triple H idea, and tell me if I'm wrong, Sid. Everything that I've watched on Raw that's been advertised has happened on Raw and on SmackDown. I haven't seen one example of some last minute shit that happened that was like, oh, I'm thinking I'm gonna see a Lashley match with insert wrestler here, and then it's pulled at the last minute, and then it's Lashley's sisters.
Raw 30, Chris.
Yeah,
was that cage match part of it?
That cage match at Raw 30. That's the only time I can recall.
Yeah,
like,
that's even that was circumstantial. I don't think that was a matter of let's just falsely advertise something.
I mean, it may be circumstantial, but he had 11 minutes to go have some fun with his DX friends.
Yeah, that was stupid. But yeah, I'm just saying. I think, and the NXT show is still fucking garbage. So I don't know who's to blame for that. Is Vince or Triple H? It's a horrible show. That show needs to be burnt and take its rightful place in hell. It is a horrible show.
What? Hold on, wait, go back. Back us out, Nate. Hey, hold on, wait. NXT. Hold on, wait. Look, I will say that NXT 2.0, like when that first got started, I'd have been right with you, brother. I'm telling you, I was not enjoying that. But like, I don't know if I could say that I think NXT right now is as bad as the way that you're describing it. I don't think it's like the greatest show of all time. But like, if you like really watch that show, bro, it's some good in-ring work on that show. But like the characters and all that, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of, you know what I'm saying? It just depends to what your taste. But like, if you like really watching NXT, bro, that show is not that bad, bro. Like, it's like a halfway decent show, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, it's a good show. It's a good show.
So halfway decent and good are different things. So which one are you hanging your hat on? Is it halfway decent or good?
Well, look, I'm gonna say it's a good show because I watch the show every week. I watch it every Tuesday because
it's not as bad as it was a year ago,
bro. I'm not gonna go to the extent of like burn in hell, like especially. I'm legitimately convinced that anybody who like watches that show thoroughly on a week by week basis and you see the progression, you know that it's not that bad as it's being described. Like they have like some good stuff on that show. Not everything is perfect. Not everything is good. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But there is certain points in that show where it's like, damn, that's kind of, you know what I'm saying? That's all right right there.
They got SP3's boy LeBron Breaker on these streets.
LeBron Breaker.
And if you're in the chat, just tell me if NXT is good or bad. I'll give it another chance.
Kris is taking it to the
SP3. I'm curious, SP3. I know me and you have spoken. I come on Tru Heel Heat a couple of times, like pre this current version NXT, and you know, going back to what we was 2 years ago. What do you think about current NXT? Like in all honesty, like what do you think about it?
It's somewhere in the middle. Where 2 weeks ago, that was one of the worst pieces of wrestling television I've ever seen in my life. An episode that had a 1-year-old up at 9 p.m. in the evening because they had to have him watch his daddy get his ass kicked. So that when that is the highlight of your episode, that's one of the worst wrestling pieces of wrestling television I've ever seen in my life. but to address what Kris said, that we had a little exchange and a little difference of opinion,
a little back and forth.
Kris is bringing up all bunch of stuff that you could say this is Triple H, this is Vince. Triple H, I went back and I actually watched it after me and Kris's conversation. Triple H for a full year and a half, his Asuka feuds on NXT were all Asuka shows up, she has a stare down with somebody, they set up a match, they have the match is great, Triple H is seen as a great booker.
But
This is the difference. Let me finish. This is the difference between now and then. You don't have Asuka show up 1 week, then she's off a couple of weeks, then you have her come up again where you can do the same angle twice, but not a lot of people are going to realize it. This is the difference between now and then, where he's doing Monday Night Raw and he has to have Asuka come out every single week. And that's why this Bianca Belair a feud has been straight trash because he's done the same thing he did with Asuka in NXT, but he's done it week after week after week. This is Triple H. This is 100% Triple H. This ain't Vince McMahon. Also, Triple H is a very smart man, and he set it up to always have the scapegoat of Vince McMahon over him, because he had a whole damn meeting with both rosters and said, yo, you know, Vince is going to have input, but I have the final say. That's the key part to all of this. He has the final say. So regardless of what you want to blame on Vince McMahon booking or not, Triple H said he has the final say. So he needs to have the final say. If Vince McMahon is the one that you want to blame for all his trash shit,
I'm not blaming Vince McMahon.
All Triple H is doing is he's fucking the driver of the fucking Titanic. The ship is going down, but you got the black band playing music, making everybody believe everything is fine. And that black band is called the Bloodline. The Bloodline is the black band.
The Bloodline.
He's playing the music, and everybody thinks everything's fine. He's fooling all y'all motherfuckers, and all y'all motherfuckers think, it's Vince McMahon. It's Vince McMahon. It's Vince McMahon. It's Vince McMahon. No, it's Triple H.
I only take umbrage with one small part of that statement, because I do agree. I don't disagree, but I do think here's the difference between Vince McMahon and Triple H. Triple H will have Asuka come out there and do her little starry dance or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know. She'll come out there, do her dance, face down, her next adversary, and then walk away. I thought it was goofy on NXT. I think it's goofy on Raw. Vince McMahon, in my opinion, the other layer of goofiness that he adds on it is, why in the fuck is Asuka spitting out green, blue Nickelodeon gack out of her mouth every single time she comes out? Like, that is, to me, it's like already goofy, but you have to take it up like an extra 2 notches of goofiness.
So Great Muda just out here catching strays, Chris?
Exactly. No, Great Muda mist is different than the fucking blue fucking slimy goo shit. It's like she got the fucking blob in her mouth. What the fuck is that? I mean,
damn.
I just want to know.
But that's not the issue. The issue is the repetitiveness. And this is probably, if you want to blame it on Vince McMahon, you could put it a different way, that this was Vince's way of making it better. Is Triple H repetitive booking? He's trying to make it better, but he's making it worse. You could say that. You could say Vince McMahon is making it worse, but the issue is Triple H in his repetitiveness with the booking. Why is the worst feuds going into WrestleMania Asuka versus Bianca and Charlotte versus Rhea? Because he made a mistake from jump. He had a freaking layup. He had a freaking slam dunk of Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna shoot this ball from half court. I'm Steph Curry, but he's actually Nick Young. And he turned around and he's like, I missed. I had
SP3. He's Carlton in that episode of The Fresh Prince.
Yes. I'm about to say that's a better example.
Hey, real quick, but when I'm thinking about like the Asuka and Bianca program, like this is the thing. And to SP3's point, I'm gonna tell you exactly what's gonna happen. Asuka and Bianca go have a banger, and then everybody gonna be like, "Oh my god!" You know like, the match is gonna be great. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be great.
Yeah, and the build has been
and I'm gonna be
so lacking.
You wanna know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. The match with Sasha, Mercedes, and Bianca, that build was some. You know what I'm saying? That build was a little rough, but see what happened? They had a banger, but see, look that's the thing. When you have great talent that can sort of offset the faults in your booking, that shit gets forgotten. It gets pushed to the side. Like even with Rhea and Charlotte, I remember when they had that match. I'm pretty sure y'all remember at Money in the Bank 2021. But that match was great. You know what I'm saying? That was a great. That damn near was the best match on the show, if I remember correctly. If I'm not mistaken, that really was. When I'm thinking about, I'm trying to remember that correctly. What
does Asuka or Bianca win that match? We're getting asked that. Since you're talking about it, who wins that match?
It's rough, bro. I'm
gonna say Bianca, because I think that's the reason why they didn't have Rhea Ripley go against Bianca, because I think they want Bianca having that belt for a little while.
They probably that's a good point.
That's my guess. I don't know.
Hey, brother Nate, why Chris had brought that up? you think it's time we get into these Mania predictions, brother?
Let's get into these predictions.
Someone asked that, so I was just
no. That was actually a good transition, Chris.
Let's get into it.
I got the whole card right here. Y'all ready? Okay. All right, let's get it.
You feel bold, Andrew? You trying to go full screen?
And, you know what? Let's try it.
Let's go. Say it with your chest, nephew.
Let's try it. Let's try it, bro.
Bam.
No. We good? Can y'all hear me?
We good. We good.
Ooh, look at that. That internet flowing right now. All right, here we go. Look. All right. So the first thing. Oh, Nick, you might as well go ahead and bring me out because I'm gonna get everybody's opinion anyway. So. But yeah, we gotta play it safe. You see that SP3? Let's take it slow. Let's take it slow. But here we go. All right, so we're gonna go first. We got the fatal 4-way tag.
Real quick, Andrew. We got a super chat.
Yeah,
SP3
bringing that Tru Heel Heat to the NWA podcast. You're damn right.
we gotta have some super chat music every time we get it, like some kind of chime over. Thank you.
It's gonna be Omos music.
It's gonna be Omos music. No, it's got to be something that we don't get a copyright strike for. But also, Chris, I'm gonna let you play the music because I got a whole lot of other things I'm doing here behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Just do one of those beats.
Robert Townsend out here directing the 5 Heartbeats.
We about to have Chris do like a John Cena Thugonomics remix every time something comes. Hey, real quick. Hey, Chris, I want to ask you this. Speaking of John Cena, what did you think about his comments in the Associated Press about Vince McMahon's misconduct allegations? What did you think about that, Chris?
Yeah, I think that this is the thing with wrestling. I always say this: there's a lot of cognitive dissonance that goes with being a wrestling fan. John Cena is not an unbiased person in this situation. John Cena has made millions and millions of dollars off of Vince McMahon. So why would he say anything other than what he said? I don't agree with that sentiment, but when you take it's like they have jury trials because you can't put like you're a family member on the jury because a family member is obviously going to side with you, right? That's why John Cena is not going to be a part of any Vince McMahon trials because John Cena thinks what he thinks. I don't think I'm not going to bang on John Cena, but at the same time, the allegations against Vince McMahon are not small potatoes. I wrote about it in WrestleNomics.
Cena was talking about like this motherfucker stole from like a 7-Eleven or something. He put it out. He took all the inventory.
Well, Jericho did the same thing, and I had to write.
That Danielson did too.
Yeah. I wrote like it took me like a total of like 20 seconds to write that article on Chris Jericho's bullshit when he was saying, this dude it's not just 2 consenting adults. Vince McMahon is this woman's boss, and he propositioned her for sex. And there's a power dynamic that's there that doesn't exist between 2 colleagues. All right. But I don't think John Cena is the best person that we should look to for a fair assessment of Vince McMahon because we're just not going to get that.
Especially since he's actively working for the guy right now.
Yeah,
But see, the thing about Cena is I think that everyone would expect that Cena, if you would have asked me anybody who would have probably the most PR savvy in terms of asking or dodging a question like that, John Cena would definitely be like at least in the top 10. People who when you say, okay, so who could we ask Vince McMahon? Who could we ask about these sexual misconduct allegations, sexual assault allegations against Vince McMahon, and who would dodge these questions the most, or be a way to weave out of the question, or just completely throw in a whole different answer? John Cena would definitely be one of those people. But to outright come out and just dismiss it, didn't even condemn sexual misconduct. I think it would have been. I think people still would have got on him, but I think it would have been less if he'd have just been like, "Hey, me personally, I completely condemn sexual misconduct, sexual assault." And then you get into your whole love fest with Vince. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Wrestlers don't get the same media training that athletes do. Like, remember when Kobe Bryant was going through that thing? There wasn't one NBA player that came out and said, "Oh, Kobe Bryant is 100% innocent." You know, they defended Kobe Bryant without going as far as condemning the woman that accused them and saying that Kobe Bryant was completely innocent. Wrestlers, I just don't think know how to do that, and that is a skill. It's something that you learn how to do. Wrestlers, people care about wrestlers like maybe 2-3 times a year. One time a year is when it's I mean, it's the truth. It's when it's WrestleMania season. When somebody gets caught on TMZ doing some kind of fuckery that the mainstream media latches onto, or when somebody crosses over to another realm. John Cena is a big star. He's a crossover star at this point. He's not The Rock.
He ain't Black Adam.
He's just not that. He's not The Rock. He's not. He's not.
He ain't Big Dave. He ain't Big Dave.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say he's Big Dave yet. He's getting there, but he's not there yet.
Nah, he ain't there yet.
Yeah.
Knock at the Cabin was all right, man. I ain't gonna lie. That was a nice little. That was a nice little film right there.
Yeah, I think people slept on it. I didn't think it was that bad. People were saying, "Oh, that was." I thought it was decent. I didn't love it.
They hating on Dave, man.
Yeah,
they hating on Dave. DC Dave, man. Hey, look, we ain't having no slant on this podcast about DC Dave. I ain't having it. I don't be slant on it.
Yeah, put some mambo sauce on Big Dave's name.
Hey, look at the mambo sauce. All right, look at that, Lee. Hey, brother. Look, they got the fresh, clean shade. Look at that brother about 30 years younger. Look at him. Looking sharp.
Looking like Sonata out here.
Sonata.
Yeah.
He said, hey, real quick, real quick, before we get into the WrestleMania predictions, because I know we upset. We gonna have a tight cap on this podcast. We ain't gonna go overboard like we usually do, but you know what? I just want to bring this up real quick. That lady, Mercedes Monet, man. April 8th, Sakura Genesis. She's going to be defending the IWGP Women's Championship against Azumi and Azuki. And then the winner of that match, they got to go against the big dog, Mayu Iwatani, April 23rd, All-Star Grand Queendom. Hey, bro, I think everybody can pretty much see the writing on the wall. It's probably going to be Mercedes versus Mayu. But, dude, this match at Sakura Genesis, I know New Japan, they don't do a lot of three ways, and it's not like you don't really see a lot of that. But I know a lot of people kind of wanted the one-on-one, mostly between Mercedes and Azumi. But bro, I think they about to show out, man. And then of course we're gonna get the big one-on-one with Mayu, and I think that's gonna be, you know what I'm saying. I just think that's gonna live up to the hype. See what you thinking, man?
Oh, absolutely. I think Mercedes and Kyrie was one of the best women's matches of the year so far. But the other two women that I would put right in that conversation is the woman that she's versing at Sakura Genesis. Because if you didn't see Stardom Triangle Derby Championship Battle, Hazuki versus Saya Kamatani was so great. It had some of the best near falls that I've seen all year in any match, regardless of gender. And Azumi and Starlight Kid was a blur. It was the wildest pace I've seen for a women's match ever. Like
Azumi is like one of the fastest wrestlers.
Submissions, pins going back and forth. So I know their matchup at Sakura Genesis is going to deliver, but I'm ready for Mercedes and Mayu. That Mayu Iwatani is probably has the best facial expressions right next to Roman Reigns in the entire wrestling business. So she's going to be delivering against Mercedes come April 23rd.
Hey, real quick, I remember I had. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Mayu, she was supposed to win the IWGP Women's Championship to begin with, right? But like something had happened or something like that.
Well, they wanted to put it on Kyrie because Mercedes wanted to work with Kyrie.
There we go. Okay, yeah. But that was before, like that was originally supposed to be Mayu getting okay. So
that's why I think Mayu probably will be the one to beat Mercedes come April 23rd, because it's seeming more and more like Mercedes is just making this Japan run very, very short.
Yeah, and then real quick, tomorrow on the 26th, to Stardom having a show, I think is Azumi and Azuki wrestling 1-on-1 at their show. Yeah. So there we go. We got that. Hey, brother Nate, real quick yes or no, brother? Mercedes at Forbidden Door, yes or no?
Yes.
What you think, SB3?
I wanted to be a yes, but I'm just not sure right now. A lot of things is up in the air.
Come on, Sid.
I'm gonna say no for now.
What you think, Kris?
No, not at Forbidden Door, but this year something's gonna happen with her in AEW.
There we go. All right, now we get into the WrestleMania predictions. To start us all right now, the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. We got with the men's, we got Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar versus the Street Profits, Angelo Ford and Montez Dawkins versus Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis. I know recently on the episode of Raw, Adam Pearce, I think he was about to make another announcement regarding those matches. I thought that they didn't get to it, but what I thought he was going to say was the winners of those respective tag team matches at WrestleMania, we're going to go and challenge for the tag titles coming out of Mania, but they didn't announce that. I don't know what's going on with that. But like right now, we got this tag team match, and that's all we got, just a tag team match, a showcase. I'm gonna go with, I think the Street Profits gonna take the W in this one. I'm gonna say the Street Profits, and then we could, whoever want to go, we go Nate, we go to you, and then Chris, and then SP3, and then we could just go like the block. Yeah, we just do that.
Spin the block. Street Profits, man. Like, to me, when I'm looking at this match, it's there to get the crowd hyped. It's there to, set the tone, and you want to showcase somebody who might not be in a title contention position right now, but they should be, as we spin out of Mania. And so I got to go with the Profits.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Street Profits, and I don't have any. I could care less about this.
Are we biased, guys?
So the Street Profits.
Yes, I'll be back.
Like, to be biased, I'd have to care about the match first.
Damn, you took my answer. I don't care. I don't care because Andrew tried to say that they were going to announce something. No, they weren't.
No. I said that's what I thought was going to happen.
But I will tell you, no, they weren't. They weren't even thinking about that. They literally introduced.
So is that Triple H's fault?
Yep. I mean, but SP3, like, wouldn't that be the logical thing though? Like,
yes, that would be the logical thing, and it would have took 5 seconds to say that these matches are for some type of number one contendership. But they was like, no, it's the WrestleMania showcase jargon. I'm not gonna go with Street Profits because I have a different feeling about who's gonna walk out with the tag team titles, and if they are gonna make this, like, the winner of this get something afterwards for the tag team championships, I'll go with the Viking Raiders.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's actually a good one. So we got the next step. We got another WrestleMania showcase match with no stakes, just a paycheck. Just a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that though. You know what I'm saying? Look, get it how you live, bro. But like, okay, so we got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Shotzi and Natalya versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus TBD. Got a mystery team in there. So what I'm going to say is, I think that we're going to get Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler win, and then I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna make his prediction right here. I think on night 2, Triple H, Mr. Paul Levesque, he's gonna make an impromptu match, and we're gonna get Becky Lynch and Lita versus Ronda and Shayna for the tag titles on night 2 of WrestleMania.
I like that.
So we're gonna go SP3, and then we're gonna go Chris, and then we're gonna go Nate.
That's a little bit too creative for Flawed Paul. So,
not Small Paul.
Flawed Paul.
I think said Small Paul.
Can I get my props though for the creativity?
That was creative. They need Andrew Thompson on the creative team.
Put him on the book.
Triple H needs his new Black Ryan Ward to come up with better ideas for him that he can come up with. I'm gonna go with Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, and I think the TBD is gonna be Nikki Cross and Candice LeRae.
Ooh, okay.
Good call. All right, you up next, Chris.
Ronda and Baszler. Yeah.
What you thinking, Nate?
Ronda and Baszler would be my choice if not for who I think the TBD is going to be. And I think SP3 knows where I'm going with this, because the competitors that you mentioned, Andrew, I like them all. But, they're a little bit too similar to a lot of these other girls out there. But there is a team that I'm thinking of in my mind, a team that's got some blood ties, some blood connections. And one of the members of that team, Andrew, is not like most girls. Nia Jax and Tamina come through.
You know what? I wouldn't rule that out. I really wouldn't. I'm serious because like Nia, she been doing some of these interviews,
Mm-hmm.
and like Pete, like they've been asking her like, is this a one off? And like she just like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, that like what I think that they got her on a per date basis, like, and they probably already worked something out. I wouldn't put it like honestly. If we were talking about like possible TBD, it's definitely between what you and SP3 said. It's either gonna be Candice and Nikki, or it's gonna be Nia versus Tamina. But if they keeping this a complete secret and we don't get Candice and Nikki announced by Monday or Friday, I definitely think it's gonna be Nia and Tamina. That's actually a real good call right there.
I know SP3 want to hear that theme song one more time.
Best theme song in the game next to Omos. Yes.
that boy Kris over there is shaking right now. Hear Omar's name. Look at him.
Nah.
Hey, SP3, real quick before Andrew goes on with the predictions. Are you aware of the beef between Kris and the Nigerian Giant?
I've been hearing a little bit of it here on this podcast.
He been slandering that man's name for almost a year. SP3.
A year.
Been slandering his name. Kris ain't messing with Omar's.
No, all I say is he is not a good wrestler, and it's just that's from my observation.
Hey, Kris, I know Kris going to Wale Mania. Hey, bro, you have to get the picture, bro, with Omar.
Yes,
like that, like Kris, I'm so serious, but like this needs to happen. Yeah. That is going to be the April cover of the New Wrestling Advocates podcast. Kris, this photo. It needs to happen, Kris. I'm telling you. Like, hey, look, but just don't tell them, the whole B thing. Look, we'll you know what I'm saying? We don't need you missing for the next.
Tell them not to listen to the podcast until after the picture.
Yeah, after the picture.
Well, Emilio is there. I might be doing press for.
Okay. Scoop.
Yeah.
Let's get it. So we got the next match. We got Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control, Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. I'm gonna go with Trish, Lita, and Becky on this one. Like a part of me wants to say Damage Control, but I as much SP3 don't want to give no credit. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say that there's gonna be. I think that there will be an impromptu match coming up the next night, and it's gonna be like some random thing. But if that doesn't happen, I can see Damage Control winning. So, but I'm for right now, I'm gonna stick with Trish, Lita, and Becky. What you thinking, Nate?
I'm going with you, Andrew, because I feel like WrestleMania always has these kind of feel-good moment matches, and I think this is one of those where we get Becky, who is still incredibly popular with the audience, and these two legends getting a moment, getting a moment in the sun at the grandest stage of them all. I just feel bad for Damage Control because I feel like Damage Control.
Oh yeah.
When they first came back, it was like, okay, they got something going on here. And week by week, month by month, maybe this is to SP3's theory about the one Paul Levesque. Like they like less and less important.
Yeah,
they're like the firstborn child. Like you always do your most mistakes with the firstborn, and then everybody else got it good after that.
Yes.
What you got? What you think, Kris?
Yeah, I'm thinking Trish, Lita, and Becky. I just again, and I heard something online about Trish possibly going to the dark side. I don't know if it's going to happen in this match or not. I mean, I don't think it should because it's WrestleMania, and I don't think Trish is coming back for a full-time run. But if she does, then see what happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Becky, Trish, and Lita as
contrarian.
Well. I mean, I've learned my lesson. I used to pick Damage Control over and over when they kept losing to Bianca, and I've learned my lesson.
The contrarian has come around.
I've never picked them.
Okay. Hey, SP3, real quick to go back to you. Like, what do you think that there is anything that can be done for Damage Control to make them feel how they felt when they first popped up? Or do you think that they would need to split in order for that to happen? And like, I know a lot of people kind of want to see Io go on her own, you know what I'm saying, do her own thing.
I think Io and Dakota should probably turn on Bailey because Bailey should have came back as a babyface. That's how I'm convinced of that. And these were all parts that they kind of tried to smush together that never really made sense together to begin with. So yeah, I think that Io and Dakota will turn on Bailey after WrestleMania. Bailey can go on a babyface run, and maybe we can get interest into the fallout of Damage Control more than we were in the entire run.
Well, SP3 has to run in a few minutes, so let's jump to something important.
Get to the big matches.
Wait, you just gonna skip through the you gotta dip out SP3?
Yeah, you gotta go back to the fan.
We ain't gonna hold you too long. We ain't gonna hold you too long. But so let's get into some of the more important stuff. So we just gonna jump to SP3. All right, we're gonna go to you first. What do you think about the WWE United States Championship that's gonna be kicking off night one? We got John Cena versus Austin Theory. What you got?
Making it the first match on night one makes it a little bit less predictable.
Cena trying to beat the traffic, baby.
Yeah, it's like is they gonna have John Cena come back and start off the show to lose? But I'm gonna go with Austin Theory because I think Theory needs to win more than anyone on this, especially after he got verbally murked by John Cena on that promo exchange.
Yeah, Cena said it doesn't matter if dude wins or lose because he's going to still suck after the match. So, I mean, I think Cena's got to win because I do think that, I don't know what Cena is passing to Theory. If Theory wins, Theory is going to be unimportant before the match, and he's going to be unimportant after the match. So I think you should just give the fans in LA something to be happy about, and Cena should win. And that's my opinion.
Yeah, and that Cena promo that you brought up, SP3, that is a modern day example of the classic Dave Chappelle sketch when keeping it real goes wrong. Because this man was way too damn real on that promo, and all of the criticisms that he said about this man, Austin Theory, stuck to that brother like Velcro. And so, yeah, like even if Theory wins, what does he gain? I'm gonna say Theory just because, like John Cena doesn't need this, man. John Cena got this Peacemaker season 2 to think about, so I'm gonna go Theory.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go Austin Theory too. I think that's the, I think that's just the more like, I mean,
that's a pragmatic choice.
Cena takes the United States Championship and then does what? You know what I'm saying? Like he go away for a couple months, go away for a couple weeks, and then he come back and like. You might as well just have Theory win and then
only way I could see him like winning is if like the on Raw following he loses to someone from NXT, whether that be like LeBron Breaker or Carmelo Hayes or even someone debuting like my
drop
boy,
the title to Matt Cardona.
Switchblade Jay White. Maybe Switchblade comes in, beats him for it. I would see something like that, but nah, I think Theory wins.
That's not a bad idea, SP3.
You got time for one more match, Sid?
Yeah.
All right, so we might as well go to the big one. We got
because I have a fingers to point at both Sid and Kris on this one.
So we got the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. We got Roman Reigns defending against that man Cody Hakeem the Dream Rhodes. Hey, Sid, we're gonna let our guests go first, Nate, and then we're gonna go to SP3. We go Nate, and then we go Kris.
Let's hear it, Sid. Let's hear it. You done denigrated this man Cody for a year. Now let's hear you change your tune, brother.
It's longer than that. This goes back since 2017 since he flipped me off at a Ring of Honor event at Manhattan Mayhem.
It's personal.
At Manhattan Mayhem 2017 in the Hammerstein Ballroom. I put up a 2-sweet. Hangman Adam Page gave me the 2-sweet. Frankie Kazarian gave me the 2-sweet. But Cody said this and then flipped me off.
Hold on, bro, that was you?
Yes, that was me. Yes, that was me. And I've hated him ever since then. I don't believe in this false saving racism because he gave the 2-sweet to people of other complexions in the front row, but didn't give the 2-sweet to me. So all I will say is that there's too much money in 1,000 days. Roman Reigns wins. Reigns wins.
That is the most professional hate I've ever seen in my life. Because look, he got every right to have beef with this man, but he hating. but he got points. That's the thing.
Yes.
100%. This is hate. This comes from purely hate and a bias against Cody Rhodes that is going on 6 years strong. Roman Reigns, I will never see in 1,000-day reign in my lifetime if Cody beats Roman at WrestleMania. So I am going with Roman Reigns to continue on the run and make it to May 27th when he hits 1,000 days. That's all I want in life.
SB3, you going to Mania, right?
Oh, no, I'm not going. Didn't work out, and I'm not going to be there to see Cody win and break my heart.
I was about to say, if SB3 was going to Mania, it was going to be like when everybody do a Cody Lil Woe theme song, that's going to be SB3 version of Judas. Like when everybody's dead silent in the building.
You should have seen me.
With us dead silent with Judas.
You should have seen me at All In 2018. Everybody around me, my friend took a picture because he was on the upper seats, and everybody was standing up for Cody during his entrance. I was the only person sitting down, like, like this dude. Who cares? I was the only person cheering for Nick Aldis at All In. That was me. I was like when he put the Texas Cloverleaf on, I was like, that's the same move that beat Sting. He gonna beat Cody right now. He gonna beat him right now with the Texas Cloverleaf. Yes, I'm a natural born hater of Cody. Cody will lose to Roman Reigns on April 2nd. You heard it here first. Thank you.
So yes, this is a great point. This is a great point on the super chat, SP3. Maybe that moment in the Hammerstein ballroom when Cody got back to the hotel later, he reflected on what he did to you, brother. And then years later, he looked down at his biracial, beautiful baby daughter. And that is what gave Cody the impetus. He's like, I shouldn't have did SP3 like that back in the day. I'm going to end racism and defeat Roman Reigns before he reaches 1,000 days.
But do we really give credit to the person who started cancer if they cured it?
Jesus.
So he's the firefighter that started his own fire.
Cody didn't start racism.
He started the fire, and then
he get the blame in this man for. Hey, you know what, man? Hey, look, SP3.
He's like that. Episode of Boy Meets World where Corey starts the fire in the school, and then he ends the fire, and then he gets all the credit, and then he has to admit at the end that he was the one that started the fire. Except Cody's never gonna admit that he started racism. He's just gonna be like, I saved it.
Wow,
that's all you need to know.
We got to let you go, brother, because we can't let this slander of Devante stand. But before you get out of here, Sid, let the people know what you got going on, man. I know Tru Heel Heat has got to be gearing up for WrestleMania season, so let the people know where they can find you and what's going on with you and Chrissy and the whole crew over at Tru Heel Heat, brother.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you guys for having me on the show. I want to invite all three of y'all. If y'all are free during WrestleMania week, I need people to review night 1 on Sunday, night 2 on Monday. So if any three of y'all are available, I want to welcome y'all onto the show. Would love to talk about this show since we're previewing it here. You can go over to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. You see how my Twitter is spelled TruHeelHeat is Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. We got a full week of content coming up on Monday. My interview with Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champion Chris Bay is dropping, so check that out. You also got on Tuesday our official WrestleMania 39 preview and predictions. It's going to be myself, Romeo, and special guest Sati Nyangi from Wrestle Talk, as well as the legendary manager himself, We the People, Dutch Mantel, and he's going to slander Ric Flair, so I can't wait for that. But check out all the content coming up from Tru Heel Heat. We got a preview for Stand and Deliver on Wednesday. We got the AEW review on Thursday. We got Friday. We're watching all the wrestling that's going on Friday night on Friday Night Warriors. Tru Heel Heat 219 next Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern time, going into Stand and Deliver watch along, WrestleMania watch along, and then we got the reviews coming up all weekend. So plenty of great content. Go over, check it out, and follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3.
Right, SP, you are the one that kind of changed my mind on the Cody Rhodes stuff. I still think he's gonna win, but I don't think he has to win anymore. And that was after
Let's not do this tonight, Chris.
Look, you see that hate seeping through the screen. Look at it. Look, SP3 just spread the hate. Look.
Hey, I like I said, my mind, I'm not
look at
married
SP3.
to any argument.
My bad, like the agenda is working.
Yeah.
The agenda is working.
My mind can be changed. Things is all I'm saying. It's like if you,
but yes, one thing my mind hasn't changed about Chris
Go ahead,
is
Nate.
how great this brother SP3 is, man. We love you, SP3.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get you out of here because I know you got family stuff to get to, man. And this it's all about family. If Cody Rhodes has taught us nothing else, it's family matters, man. But yes, if I'm free, I know if Chris and Andrew are free, we would definitely love to hang out with y'all and chop up WrestleMania. But yes, you can check out this brother SP3 every week on Tru Heel Heat. For those that have a keen eye and a keen ear, the SP3 voice that you heard tonight is I was gonna say much, but it's a little bit different than the SP3 voice you hear Saturday mornings. Saturday mornings, he's kind of like in that Stephen A. Smith range, and here's Saturday night. It's been a long day. He kind of got a little deep. He got that Titus O'Neil voice working.
He's chilling. He's chilling right now. He's chilling now, except for when he hating on Cody.
Except for right.
Yes, I do eat breakfast. I do eat my heat for breakfast. My Cody hate. It tastes like America and cocoa butter for brandy. So I'm gonna be out of here. Thank you guys for having me.
Right,
I hope I will be back on the NWA podcast very soon.
Appreciate you, Sid.
All right, thanks,
SP3.
Ladies and gentlemen,
so
the one and only SP3 from Tru Heel Heat.
All right,
that's a good man right there. Shout out to SP. Hey, and now,
T. Anthony just sent us 2 super chats. So
yeah, let's read those, brother Nate.
Let's
read those, man. What we said, he got SP3 eats hate for breakfast, delicious. Shout out. And then he said Cody started and ended racism. shout out to T. Anthony for the
Super Chat's been strong tonight, man. WrestleMania season.
Hey, look, Chris called it last time, man. When we go live, man, the people tune in, man. They show the support. We appreciate y'all. But brother Nate, we didn't get your WrestleMania prediction for the main event. We do got a couple matches left on the card. But, we already touched on. But let's go ahead and finish with the main event. I think Cody's winning. Chris thinks Cody.
No, I think Cody's winning. I think.
Yeah. Look, let's stay with the good professor here, because I had to give SP3 a little something for what he had been saying.
Yeah, for sure.
This man, Chris, if you remember, Andrew, we're not gonna let Chris off the hook like a fish in the middle of the ocean.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson versus
this brother Chris talking about Black Adam was gonna show up at WrestleMania.
I don't think
when he at Chris.
What? So when I was talking to Anthony when I did, or not Anthony, SP3 when I did his show a couple months ago, I don't think Cody has to win. I don't think it's the worst thing on the planet if Roman wins, but I do think Cody is hot at the moment, and I don't think you'll ever get him. If
Cody hotter than fish grease right now.
To me, if Cody doesn't win this month, it'll be like The Rock not winning at WrestleMania 2000. When The Rock should have won that night.
That's a good call.
And he didn't win it till Backlash. That was the most stupid thing WWE's ever done. The second most stupidest thing involved a black guy also, with Booker T not beating Triple H. Both of them involved Triple H, weirdly enough. But yeah, if Cody doesn't,
is white. It is Triple H's fault.
Yeah, I think Cody has to win. If you want to keep him hot, he's got to win.
Chris, just to add on to your point, I was going to ask you a question. Do you think that there will ever be do you think Cody will ever be as hot as he is right now, to the point where if he loses that Mania, do you think people will even care enough to? I think people won't care. But care at the rate that they do right now.
It'll be just like Drew McIntyre. Cody, this is Cody's moment. And he's never gonna have a moment like this again. This is his peak, because after he wins at WrestleMania, it is all downhill from there after WrestleMania. I don't think it's gonna be a fast descent. I think he'll be hot for the rest of the year and probably for a lot of next year. Let's go back to before you were born. Andrew. Let's go back to the Royal Rumble that year. Ric Flair won it. He was hot for that year. And then when 93 came around, the luster, the bloom was off the rose. I think Cody has the rest of the year to be hot. And I think he's got some of next year to be hot. But it's going to be a matter of what are you going to do with him next? And I just don't think that anyone in WWE is creative enough. I think his next hot moment will be when he goes back to AEW. I think this is just if you're going to cash in on Cody, you got to do it next weekend.
Hey, brother Nate, you take it because I wanted to add something after about like what Cody's post WrestleMania is going to look like, and to mostly because like not that counterpoint, but more so just add a little bit more to what Kris was saying as far as like what I think his post WrestleMania is going to be like. But brother Nate, what you think about Cody versus Reigns at Mania?
Yeah, Andrew, unlike a certain member of the Nubian Wrestling Advocates who was out here on these streets talking about Dwayne Johnson gonna show up and this and that. I ain't seen this man Dwayne Johnson do any promotion for WrestleMania. So he
ain't even mentioning him in no interview.
He ain't even mentioned. Look, if he ain't mentioning Black Adam, he ain't mentioning WrestleMania. Okay, that's what this man Dwayne Johnson is thinking about right now. But here's the thing. If we go back to a few episodes ago, a few months ago, one of the things I said, guys, was I feel like Cody, you never want to see anybody get injured.
No. But
I feel like Cody's injury happened, and this is a weird way of saying it, but it happened at a beneficial time.
No, it ain't weird at all.
Cody debuted at Mania last year, hottest dude in the company, off jump. When he got hurt, he was still hot, but I could kind of feel things were on the decline from Mania. Cody comes back at Rumble, hot all over again, gets into this Bloodline story, which is, I think Kris and SP3, have said that it's one of the best WWE stories of all time. It's linked in.
I'm about to say, Nate, real quick, people was all, they gonna boo him, they gonna choose Sammy over him.
They didn't boo him. Yeah. They found a way to thread that needle where not only did Cody not get booed, Andrew, but he also was able to build up the Sammy storyline by bringing Sammy and Kevin back together. And so, to me, the story, and I understand what Kris is saying and SP3 is saying about Cody doesn't have to win, because there's a story to be told of Roman Reigns passing this 1,000 days as his family is disintegrating around him. Like, that's an interesting way you could take the story. But you only get one chance to have a moment like this. And people are ready for this. Cody's going to have this moment, and it's going to be the moment that Cody has fought for, Cody has wanted, and I don't know what the hell's going to happen after the fact, Andrew. You alluded to that in terms of how do they follow up on the title win, but I think for that night, that moment is going to be huge. So it's Devante all the way, brother.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Cody's going. I mean, we all say, even Kris said it. It's not. I do agree.
Kris said it begrudgingly.
I do agree with Kris's point that it's not going to be the worst thing in the world of Roman Reigns, but dude, I feel like Cody is at this point now where you have had now what you've had two opportunities during the Triple H era where you've had these guys, first being Drew McIntyre back at Clash of the Castle in his home country or home, they was in Europe regardless. Drew McIntyre was from Europe, you know what I'm saying, Scotland, you know what I'm saying, still. But you had the quote unquote hometown advantage for Drew, right? And people, I thought that they when he hit that Claymore, I thought that Drew was gonna do it, and then they brought Solo into the fold. And then you had a moment with Sammy. People thought Sammy was gonna take it in the Montreal and for Elimination Chamber. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now you got this situation with Cody, and I feel like you can't pass up on it 3 times, bro. You can't pass up on the big moment 3 times. And I feel like Cody is just the right person at the right time. And something I think Nate said. I do think I do agree to the extent that there was sort of a period because him and Seth had went at it for 3 straight pay-per-views. Yep. You know what I'm saying? I think it kind of got people was kind of let's move on. But I think Cody wrestling that match with the torn pec, I feel like that did so much for him. And like him doing that excused the time that he missed. Like that completely excused the time that he like that was like, okay, Cody, go take your time off, come back when you're ready, yada yada yada. We'll be ready for you when you come back. And he came back, and you know what I'm saying? This like when people were saying that they was gonna boom and choose Sammy over him, I never thought that was gonna happen. I thought that they would be smart enough to keep them away from each other and weave each other back into each other's stories in a way that would prevent that from happening. And honestly, bro, it could have happened the night after Sammy lost to Roman because they was still in Canada and they was going crazy for Cody.
Yep.
Right.
But they want Cody, man. Like, and then the thing is, you know what I'm saying? The kids love this dude. You got little kids dressing like him. He giving the belt, and you know what I'm saying? Oh, but like Cody is like
the promos, Andrew. The promos.
The promos good. Like Cody always been a good promo, except for that one. Except for that one. You know that one I'm talking about. Except for that one. You know what I'm saying? We ain't never forgetting that.
Right.
With the plant standing in the crowd when he was doing like they we gonna wipe that out of the history book.
Yeah,
you know
and and the thing about the Cody stuff too is they kind of lucked into this too, right? Because it looked like they were building for Rock and Roman for the longest time, and the Rock couldn't do WrestleMania. And I think Cody,
some people did predict that the Rock would be at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I know what I always knew because we're not gonna do any Dr. Ealy slander. I said, and I stand by it, if The Rock was gonna be at WrestleMania, The Rock was gonna be fighting Roman at WrestleMania. Rock isn't coming back, so since he's not doing that, I think that Cody is a good person to have in that position, and I think that. And I just don't think that you're gonna have these moments. They're not just gonna keep getting gift wrapped to you. You know,
like I was saying, Chris. He passed up on two of them already with Sammy.
Right. Yeah, you passed up on the Sammy moment. But and you passed up on the Drew moment. So it's got to be Cody at this point. And
like I was saying earlier, Chris, when we were talking about the women's six woman tag match. Like part of WrestleMania that's built into the fabric of the show is these feel good moments. The big moment, Cody Rhodes at the end of the night, everybody's singing the song, the whoa, when he's got the belt above his head. Look, maybe Brandy and the daughter come out and
maybe like, Dustin Rhodes.
Maybe it's gonna be that feel good moment that they can use to play in these video packages for the next 20 years. And so like I think, you know, regardless of how people felt about Cody during Sammy's kind of rise through this story, I think this is the rare storyline, Andrew, that has benefited everybody. Roman, the Usos, Solo, Heyman, Cody, Sammy, Kevin, like everybody that's been weaved in and out of the story, I think has benefited from being a part of it. I
agree. But for Cody post-Mania, dude, I think there are a lot of options and a lot of ways that you can go. The primary one, the main one out of everybody right now, when you talk about post WrestleMania for Cody, is Gunther. It's not even a question. Gunther into the number one into the Royal Rumble this year, number one, went all the way, got eliminated by Cody. They had that little great ending to the match. I think that Gunther has like I legit think that they're prepping Gunther to go into it like a deep world title program. And trust me, I think if Vince was like still at like the complete helm, like honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think Vince is completely out of the picture. I think like he's somewhere.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah, he's lurking.
There. You know what I'm saying? but like I still think that it is like Triple H is the one that got the final
say.
Yeah, but
T. Anthony's got another super chat.
Yeah, let's read that, Nate. Let's read that. Show that brother some love.
Damn.
T. Anthony said if Cody loses to Roman, then who is next? Roman is beating everybody. Jay defeating Roman doesn't need the title as well. That you want to know what Roman see this is the thing. And to your point, T. Anthony, thanks for the super chat. My man sent us a nice little $550. Shout out to T. Anthony, man.
You know what I'm saying,
brother. So sending the super chats tonight.
Look. I just want to make an announcement. We're going to use all of the super chats that we've received tonight as Chris's bail money after he gets to tussling with Omos at WrestleMania. So thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
No. So, hold on, wait. What was I saying, Nate? Before we read the super chat,
about Cody.
No. I want to make a point about T. Anthony super chat about Roman. So, with Roman post, bro, this is the thing. I think that people think that if Roman loses, like he's going away for Mania, like right out. I don't think that's the case. I think that what Cody said on Raw was a preview of what creative has lined up for Roman after Mania. Jay is going to leave. Jimmy is going to leave. And then I think the match that he's going to wrestle at possibly SummerSlam is going to be against Solo. And Solo going to beat him. And then Roman's going to go away. And I think that Solo is going to be the one to send Roman on his way. Like, I think Jay going to get tired of him. Jimmy gonna rock with his brother, of course, and it's kind of funny because they be acting like Solo ain't their brother, like Solo like this other person, like that's like their little brother, you know what I'm saying? But still, Solo, and honestly, bro, with Solo, I'm gonna be real, bro, and like I don't think that everything Triple H does is great. I'm definitely not one of those people, but Solo feels like a character that Triple H would have established back in the Black and Gold era NXT. Like that feels like a Black and Gold Triple H like protege type thing, like a not creation, but like more so of like a mold of what what that Black and Gold NXT will represent. But yeah, I think that's gonna be the case.
It's that classic kind of wrestling booking that Triple H did
with Solo, yeah. But yeah, I think that Cody post Mania, man, he got Gunther. Yeah, I mean you got that lined up. I think.
You think Switch could be in the mix?
I think, but only reason I say Jay White because why would they do that stipulation that Battle in the Valley that he can't wrestle in New Japan no more if he was going to AEW? You know what I'm saying? Like it's once you know what I'm saying, want that and then want that sort of look bad in a way between the partnership between New Japan and AEW that your dude just left there to go sign exclusively with y'all and y'all supposed to be working together and then y'all do the joint show in June. You know what I'm saying? It's like and then what he gonna be representing AEW? Like you know what I'm saying? It's weird, bro. So I think that Jay is probably gonna end up in WWE and I think that him and Cody is gonna be a nice little, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be a nice little story. But I think that the primary person is Gunther. I think that Gunther is gonna be the primary guy for Cody, like in terms of like a big long foot, and I think that's gonna happen at Money in the Bank in London. I think that's gonna be that's gonna be what that's gonna happen at. But yeah, so we got next up, and I want to go to Kris for this one. We got Brock Lesnar versus Omos. What you think, Kris?
Main event.
Omosapiens.
Y'all been waiting for this all year.
This is the topic that Omos went crazy on some fool on Twitter for talking. Some dude said that Omos is gonna lose in less than 3 minutes, and Omos was like, "I'll beat your ass, dude." I'm paraphrasing, but he said something like that. And Omos doesn't think he's losing in under 3 minutes. I think that Brock Lesnar is winning the match. I don't know how it's going to be. I just don't see like Lashley beating Omos in relatively easy fashion when Lashley did it, and then Brock Lesnar losing to Omos. So I definitely think that Omos is losing. I just don't know how it's going to happen.
Yeah, Brock took that Omos match over that Cinnamon Toast Crunch match for Bray.
Yeah, I know. I wish Sid was around to talk about that because he had some opinions on that.
Hey, Kris, what do you think about like them not promoting Lashley and Bray no more? Like Lashley's on the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
They got Lashley doing the Jobber Battle Royal, man. That's I don't see Lashley being left off of WrestleMania. That would just be too disrespectful of a move. I think that he'll either do something with LA Knight on WrestleMania or something.
But with, Kris, Kris, you want to know an idea that I saw a lot of people floating around that wouldn't be bad? Lashley should throw like an open challenge, and if Braun Breaker loses the NXT title to Carmelo, that should be Braun's debut.
Ooh, okay.
That'd be a nice one. I think it would be some decent in terms of like.
Right.
But honestly, I would much rather see that than Bray. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I would much rather see that too. But I do want to see Lashley beat Braun Breaker. I don't think I don't want to see Lashley lose into.
Oh yeah, no. I agree. I don't want to see him lose the belt.
But I'm cool with that. I think Lashley has meant too much to that company over the course of since he's been back. in WWE. He's done whatever they asked him to do. So I want him to get something significant at WrestleMania, whether it's squashing LA Knight.
No, just be on the card, bro.
Yeah, just something, man. Like having him in that battle royal, that's a smack in the fucking face, dude. That's like retiring after like 30 years of working at a place and then them giving you like a Ruby Tuesdays gift card or something. Like
damn.
Yeah.
Damn, Chris, Ruby Tuesdays could have been a sponsor, man. Come on, bro.
Oh, yeah. They still could be. Yeah, we gotta watch it.
They still could be.
We gotta watch that. The Ruby slander. But yeah, I just think that
that's funny.
That you can't just like
But Chris, I 100% agree with you. I think Lashley has just been too much of a constant for them to just forget about him like that. And like especially over the last several years, him winning the WWE Championship, I think multiple reigns with it. Like even for Lashley to like, but honestly, I think that anybody that was in Lashley's position would have been went on Twitter and started spazzing out when they broke up. I'm talking about when they broke up the Hurt Business, because that was just like completely unnecessary.
Like
you just ruined like a completely good thing for absolutely no reason. And like you good, Chris.
And I do have a theory on this Bray Wyatt stuff.
Well, hold on, Chris. Before you get to your theory on Bray Wyatt, because Andrew didn't peep it. Andrew didn't see what you did, Chris. Because earlier in the show, Andrew mentioned he would think somebody like John Cena would have media training to dodge and divert and spin away from a question.
Yeah.
We noticed, the audience noticed. We was talking about Omos, and you spun it around.
No, I said Lesnar. I said Lesnar.
You ain't slick,
winning.
Chris.
I said Lesnar was winning.
Hey, Nate. So Nate, what you think about me? Thinking back on the predictions.
Because Chris is determined not to get his man Omos his shine. Chris, I'm looking out for you, Chris. I don't want Omos coming after you on Twitter, man.
Yeah, but Lesnar's still beating the guy, man.
Here's what I'm saying, Chris. You got to think about this, right? Lesnar beat Kofi. Lesnar beat Lashley.
Mm-hmm. He beat E.
Lesnar beat E. Omos is doing this for the brothers and for the ancestors that have fallen before this beast. Omos, the Nigerian giant who has had to go through Raw Underground, Chris. He had to come up through the underground. This man, Omos, worked with AJ Styles. He walked the flat earth. Chris, he walked that earth. He learned the lessons from AJ Styles. He hooked up with MVP, Uncle P. He learned the lessons from P. He's listened to Kris Ealy, a professor, a respected professor, disparage and throw dirt on his name for a year and a half. This is Omos's moment, Chris. Omosapiens, rise up. Omos defeats Lesnar. Take it to the bank. Lock it in. If we can gamble on this on DraftKings, put all your money on Omos.
Don't do that, people. Just don't do that. Just don't do that.
So for my prediction for this match, man, you know what? I'm gonna say.
Nephew.
See, look, the only reason I'm gonna say Omos is because I think Lesnar will go away for a little bit. So I'm gonna say Omos. I think that they're gonna try to use this as a way to catapult him. I don't know how they're planning on do that, but I'm gonna say Omos gets the dub over Brock Lesnar. I'm gonna say that, and then hopefully I don't know when come April when we do this podcast, Chris ain't throwing that in my face. So,
I'm not throwing it in anybody's face because I think Lesnar has kind of overstayed his welcome. So anything like if he loses, he loses. I'd be happy with that.
If Omos loses, are you gonna show up on the April edition of this show wearing an Omos shirt?
Nah, I'm not doing.
I mean, if Omos wins, excuse me.
Yeah, but I'll come out. I'll acknowledge the dude. I'm not gonna be buying any of his gear. That's that's not where I'm at with Omos. But but I don't think I have to worry about that because I'm pretty sure he's losing to Lesnar. I just don't see any reality where Omos beats
Brock said that. Brock said losing to him that don't work for me, bruh.
That don't work for me, bro.
I ain't losing to Bray and I ain't losing to Omos.
The only black dude that Lesnar loses to is Lashley. He doesn't.
But even
lose
then,
him.
he still beat Lashley his fair share of times.
Yeah, but Lashley's beaten him more than Lesnar's beaten him. You know, I mean that's facts. I don't know what it is about Lashley that Lesnar doesn't buy taking.
Hey, bro, real talk. I'm talking about a real fight. I got Lashley beating Lesnar. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm talking about
MMA fight that should have happened.
I'm talking about throwing hands for real. I got Lashley beating him.
Right,
Yeah,
I think Lashley, the heavyweight division in UFC was never great. You know, like people used to talk about Lashley never making it to UFC, but Lashley fought like, you know, the same kind of tomato cans in Strike Force.
Yeah, he was in Bellator too, right? Yeah, he was in Bellator. Yeah, she was in Bellator.
Yeah, in Bellator, yeah.
Strike
Force and Bellator, then that Lesnar got, you know, so, and Lesnar wasn't beating like really, really good people, you know what I'm saying? He beat people like that, you know, he should have probably beaten, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna move on to the next match, man.
So how many more matches we got on this card here, Andrew Thompson?
We got like 4 left.
Okay.
We could just breeze through them real quick. We got Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins. I'm gonna say Seth Rollins gets the win. I don't think they're gonna do Seth dirty like that.
Nah.
What you think? What you thinking, Nate?
Yeah, Seth Rollins all the way, man. You like, I gotta give Logan Paul grudging respect. Like the dude put in work.
But he good, bro.
He good. Like I still don't like him or his brother, his punk ass brother. But Seth Rollins for the win.
Hey, you see how he ran from Floyd?
Yeah.
yes.
I don't like Logan Paul either, because like if you respect combat sports and the legitimacy of like boxing, like I do, then Logan Paul is just not somebody that you're gonna respect.
Was Logan the one that fought Nate Robinson, or was that Jake?
It was Logan.
No, Jake for Nate and Logan for Floyd.
Yeah. Like these joke matches with people. I don't like it. I didn't like when
he ain't had to do Nate like that though, bro.
He did Nate dirty.
Yeah. Well,
come on, man.
Nate had no business being in that situation. Yeah. It's just like do y'all remember like this? There was this period in the 2000s where Bob Sapp was taking all of these MMA fights. And he was losing to people on purpose to get like a quick bit of money and stuff.
Yep.
Like I didn't like that shit either. I don't like staged shoot fights, you know what I'm saying? But with that said, I do think Logan Paul has beaten Seth Rollins. I think that's Triple H's vision. I think that's Triple H's vision for that dude.
Okay.
I don't like it, but I just think that's where Triple H is at with Logan Paul. I think they want to be on Sports Center and all that crap. And I just think that's what they want to do.
Hey, you know what? If Logan Paul beats Seth Rollins, then I think Cena is going to beat Austin Theory, and they're going to do Logan versus Seth for the U.S. title at SummerSlam, or somewhere at that point, somewhere down the line. I think that at some point it's going to be some type of Logan versus Cena match. I think that's going to happen at some point. But
if Logan Paul beats John Cena, man, come on.
But see, this is the thing though. With Logan versus
Seth, nephew.
No. I'm not saying you're gonna beat him, but I'm talking about I could just see a match happening between those two. But like,
I can see it.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? I can see that happen. But like, see, the thing is with Seth, bro, I can't see them having like dogging Seth out like that again. Because like, look, when you look back at the past couple of WrestleManias, the last time Seth Rollins had a win at WrestleMania was 34 back in 2018. He lost to Kevin Owens. Back in 2019 when he beat Lesnar. That was the last time he had a win, I think. He lost to Kevin Owens at 36. He lost what was 37? He lost to Cesaro. 38 he lost to Cody. 4 straight Mania losses back. I can't see them doing Seth like that. And then at that, bro, like if they dog Seth out like that, I don't know, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, Cody surprised me with leaving AEW, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if Seth kind of got fed up with the like being treated like, you know what I'm saying? Getting treated like, hey, y'all keep using me to help all these other dudes.
Yeah,
When it's gonna be my time.
DC. I do agree with you. Yeah, it wasn't a super chat, but I do agree with what he said though. I do think I don't like the Paul brothers. Like I can do without on the like pantheon of celebrities doing wrestling. The Paul brothers to me they're just not necessary. I don't think you need either one of them.
Now when you got Bad Bunny wrestling that Backlash next month,
right?
Well, I mean, I think Bad Bunny is look. You could say what you. I wasn't the biggest fan of Bad Bunny's wrestling. I am a fan of Bad Bunny's music, and I do think that Bad Bunny has his talent speaks for himself as far as what he does mainstream music wise, right? He was like, people are saying either him or Beyonce or Kendrick Lamar should have won the Grammy this year for album of the year. Like that, this is who Bad Bunny is. The Paul brothers are fucking jokes, you know. they are not. They have and here player to player game recognizing game. I got no problem with you making your money by, you know, ripping folks off and stuff with these little
ripping folks off
stuff. Look, if people are dumb enough to pay for these sham pay-per-view fights with these guys, let them do it, you know. But
Kris said I ain't drinking no Prime Energy, no ass.
Yeah. but you know, but like that's just not why I watch wrestling. I don't think they bring anything pure to professional wrestling or sports entertainment or whatever you want to call it, you know. Like I think of so many celebrities who've done so much more for wrestling than the Paul brothers. We're talking about Mr. T. We're talking about Cyndi Lauper. We're talking about Mike Tyson, Andy Kaufman. You know, we're talking about to a lesser extent Karl Malone and
Dennis Rodman.
They did more. Like Dennis Rodman in the middle of the playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah, went on WCW to do some fake fighting with Karl Malone against Hogan and Rodman, man. Like, or against DDP and Rodman, man. Yeah. So that, to me, that's more important than the crap that I'm seeing the Paul brothers are doing, man. The Paul brothers are there to kind of get their name out there, use WWE as a vehicle. And I just don't see the symbiosis in the relationship. I don't see what WWE gets in return with those two dorks. And if they do, just let me know so I can. But I just don't see it. Yeah.
No, so I was gonna say we was gonna go to the next one real quick. But yeah, I do agree with I think that Seth is gonna beat him, and if Seth doesn't beat Logan, I can see a point of where if Seth isn't in the world title picture at some point, or he isn't world champion when they split if they split those titles, I can see him dipping out. I can see him dipping out
for a little minute.
I can see him dipping out and being like, "Bro, y'all keep passing me up over all these," and especially if you bring in Jay White in, that's another totem pole point you going down. And it's like, you know what I'm saying, Seth probably gonna have to bite the bullet again and take the L to Jay, you know, to establish him. So
real quick, does Logan Paul win the world title before the year is up?
No.
I can't say hell no.
Don't put that evil out there into the world.
I won't predict that he will. I won't predict that he will, but I just can't say no.
Wow.
So
Andrew, I'm gonna let you go to the next match. But all I'm gonna say real quick is, for those keeping track at home, this man Kris continues to disparage the good brother Omos, who is doing nothing but working hard and taking his business seriously. But he's trying to get a world title to Logan Paul. That's all I'm gonna say. Go ahead, Andrew. That's all I'm gonna say.
I do not want that to happen.
Cut the clip, cut the clip and play it.
I can see a reality where they give Logan Paul the world title. I wish that I didn't. I wish I wish that I couldn't fix my lips to say that, but I just don't know WWE at the moment, man.
Like, he is not winning the world title, bro. There's no way.
He better not win the world title.
Yeah.
Wait,
Nate. So Andrew says there's no way. You say he better not, or is there no way? What say you, Nate? Is there no way, or he better not? There is a distinction between this.
Let me say this, Chris. I think that he could win the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title.
Okay.
They ain't putting the world title on him, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see him winning a secondary title, but yeah, the world title to me that's a step too far.
That's not happening.
Okay, but that's still not saying no way.
Chris wants you on one side of the fence, bro.
Right, Chris. Yeah. We see Chris's tricks. We see you, Professor.
No, you did the same thing to me. Is there no way he can win the title, or is he just not gonna win it? Because
I'm gonna stand with my nephew. The youngest in charge. There's no way he's gonna win. No chance in hell, Chris.
But the question was before the year. I lost. The question was before the year is up. Before the year is up.
Look, especially if you're trying to tell me he's taking it off of Cody Devante Rhodes. Nah, man.
No, he's not taking it off of Cody. I will give you that much. Yeah.
Unless they want the delegation beating out.
Yeah.
So all right, so next up, man, we got Bianca versus Asuka for the Raw Women's title. We already sort of dove into the whole storyline about it, but yeah, I think Bianca retaining. What you think, Chris?
Yeah, I think Bianca's retaining. I think that's the reason why Rhea picked Charlotte.
Okay,
that's a good point.
I don't think they want to mess with Bianca right now. I think
her reign.
Yeah, I think Triple H wants to keep Bianca hot. If you watch the television for the last month or so, Bianca's on everything.
Yeah, bro. Hey, Chris. What do you real quick before I know we gonna go through the next couple matches, but Chris, I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think it says about like Bianca's status, like the fact that they send her like on all these like like the mainstream media stuff, like they send her to like all the like little press conferences and like all the like the ST, what was the XXXW, like they send her all that. What do you think that says about
I think it says that they like her as a performer. I think it says that they trust her to go on these media rounds, and I think it also
and that's a dumb stuff.
Yeah, and I also think she's very, very good at talking to mainstream media. You know, she's from she is went to my former alma mater, the University of Tennessee, and I think she is just what they're looking for at the moment. And I think when you have two world, I don't think you want to mess with Bianca at the moment. Rhea and Bianca could feud later on this year or next year. But I think that Asuka, unfortunately for her and Triple H, I'll give him a shout out. He's done a very, very good job of heating her back up. But I still don't think that people buy Asuka.
Yeah, I completely bought in.
The way they do with Bianca Belair. I just don't see that.
Bro, Bianca, she kind of like Cena right now, bro. Like
Andrew
can't touch her, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say especially when you guys were talking earlier about the way she interacts with the media, like she has the potential to be the Cena for this generation, just in the package of a black woman.
She already is.
And so, to me, why would you mess with that? Especially as much as we all love Asuka and respect Asuka's talent. Like, Asuka has been done dirty by this company, I think, and underused and misused pretty much since she jumped to the main roster. But it made no sense for me. Chris said, Triple H has done a good job of heating up Asuka, and I'll give you that to an extent. But Andrew, man, there's a difference between putting something in the oven on 350 degrees, letting it sit there for about 2-3 hours, and then putting something in the microwave for 3 minutes. Yeah, they both hot, but it ain't the same. And so this Asuka story with Bianca feels very much like they microwaved it. Like,
what story?
Well, that part.
Anthony has been sending us all kinds of Canadian dollars tonight, man.
Let's fill him up. What did he say? Key Anthony, thanks for the money, brother. He said, thanks for the nice super chat. He said Oscar ain't winning the match at Mania again. Yeah, like to Chris' point and to Nate's point, I just don't like, bro. It's not even a slight on Oscar, but it's just like Bianca's just she's just the person right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. And
Oscar shouldn't have been put in this match if you didn't have the story to warrant it. And I don't feel like they've given us a story to warrant it.
But and then we also talked about like the fact that this is like a black woman doing this, bro. Like she's like she is the person, bro. Not the she's like I would say like she's like top 5 most important people in the company right now in terms of the wrestlers. It's not even a question. Like shit, you could say top 3.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like she
honestly,
Bianca's,
like to me, I know we talked about Rhea, and I think that would have been an interesting matchup. But to me, coming off of the win over Sasha, coming off of the win over Becky, to me, the match I would have made at this year's Mania would have been either Bianca versus Bayley or Bianca versus Sasha. Because low key, she's been running through the horsewomen.
Yeah.
No,
the only one she ain't beat yet is Charlotte.
Has she beat Bayley already?
Yeah, she beat Bayley.
Was that during some damage control run that I completely missed?
Bro, she beat Bayley a bunch of times.
Okay, yeah. So then it should have been Charlotte. It should have been Charlotte because with Charlotte you have this talented performer who reeks of privilege, and with Bianca you got this kid that like she came through the hard way. Like I think that's a fascinating story. Both of these athletic women in their prime and both talk.
And both of them are Triple H, like for lack of a better term.
Would have a killer match. Like that should have been the match we got at WrestleMania. And we should have got one great banger women's match instead of 2 matches, which are going to be good in ring, but there's no story to either one of them, I don't think.
Right.
With the Charlotte and see the thing about Bianca is like I think that they're going. First of all, I think she's gonna beat Asuka. So I'm gonna say when she beats Asuka, a couple of days after it'll be a 4 years champion as Raw Women's champion. So you know what I'm saying? I think that they definitely want to get her to that 1 year mark because like, bro, she deserves it. You know what I'm saying? Like she's been putting in the work. But Bianca is a great wrestler for somebody that's only been wrestling for like 6 years. You know what I'm saying? Like she's crazy good. And then on top of that, like and see, this is the thing about Omos. I don't think that Triple H is gonna let Omos fill because Omos is a Triple H project. Same thing, nephew. It's the same thing as like as much as like I don't like maybe Omos's in-ring stuff is not as sharp. Like I just can't see a world where Triple H like lets him feel because he sought out Omos, and I don't think that he wants that blemish on him to be like, hey, I brought this guy in and it didn't work out like with Bianca, but they hit the jackpot with Bianca, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that's she comes along every once in a while. You got somebody to come along and they just flow right into it with the character and all that stuff. Hey Nate and Chris, back me out real quick, Nate. So, something that I really want to see, bro, post Mania. I ain't even gonna lie, I want to see a heel Bianca. Like the baby face stuff, cool. But the stuff she was doing in NXT when she was a heel, I'm telling you, bro. Like if you let her rock, I'm telling you, like she gonna show out. King Woods, he said that. What did he say? If that put in Asuka,
they put Asuka Bianca,
they will win. What you mean, Woods?
I think. Going to that point about that heel character, Andrew, I think she definitely has the chops to pull it off. And if they gave me a heel Bianca against this Asuka, you could have told that story. But they chose not to tell a story.
Yeah,
I was about to say, bro, it might be too much money in the Bianca.
Right? Yeah, I think Bianca,
the corporate bucks, man.
Like,
Bianca selling these DoorDash subscriptions.
Yeah, I see the little white girls at the shows with the little
the braid.
Yeah.
It's too much money.
I don't think they want to mess with that money, man. She's saying the baby.
Like we said, she the female Cena.
Right.
Yeah. So all right, so we got the next one, man. That man Rey Mysterio about to put hands on his son. About time Dominik yelled in his mother's face on SmackDown. Rey been turning him down for the past month or so about fighting him and wrestling him. The Charlotte brought the cameras back when Dominik got in Rey's wife, his mother's own face, and told her to shut up. And Rey went over there and dropped that man on his back pockets and said, "You know what? You want the match, son? You got it." And they are going to be wrestling at WrestleMania. Rey versus. First of all, let me just say this, bro. I like storyline stuff aside, bro. Bro, I know that man Ray got to be the most proud individual walking this earth right now, bro. Because he got like it's and you want to know what the thing is, bro? I think that he feels most proud that this wasn't forced. Like this is like something that's been building for, and it works. And I don't know how they got to this point with Dominik. They struck gold with the little fake him acting like he hard and all this stuff. Ex-con Dom. You know, they lucked into that. You know what I'm saying? That is hilarious. It's funny, bro. But like Ray, and I'm gonna say this. I think Dominik wins, and I think they do a tag match at Backlash in Puerto Rico. It's gonna be Ray and Bad Bunny versus Dominik and Damian Priest. Ooh. That's what I think. I think that's gonna be a tag match in Puerto Rico, and then Ray and Bad Bunny gonna get the win. Yeah, and then you know come on now, bro. Like y'all in Puerto Rico, bro. Come on now, right? Look. Let's get the people with get some feel good going. But Chris, real quick, we're gonna go to you, man. So tell me what you think about like the setup with Dominik yelling at his mother and his sister, and then Ray knocking him out and stuff like that, and who you think gonna win the match at Mania?
I think I like all of it. The storyline lends itself to Rey Mysterio winning just because of just how big of a dick Dominik has been for the last year or so. So if you're looking from a logical storyline aspect, and the fact that they are in LA, which is SoCal, which is where Rey Mysterio's from.
They are from there. I forgot that. You're right.
Yeah. Ray should win from that standpoint. I think I don't think Ray wants to lose to his son, so I do think Dominik is winning. My only concern, and we could talk about this when we do post-mortem after WrestleMania, when we do that show, is I just don't know where Dominik goes from here. Because the thing about Rey Mysterio is I don't think people quite understand.
Dominik Mysterio versus Logan Paul for the World Championship.
I was say, Chris, just to add on, Ray going into the Hall of Fame too.
He's going into the Hall. Rey Mysterio is a GOAT.
Bro, he's the greatest mass wrestler to ever live, bro. I don't want to hear nobody else.
Rey Mysterio is just so good at everything. And Dominik is never ever gonna live up.
It's impossible, bro. That's like Michael Jordan trying to live up to him.
or Bronny Jr. or whatever. It's just not gonna.
Hey, Bronny Jr. gonna be on your Lakers here in a couple years, Chris.
I'll chill.
Hey, Chris, real quick, just to ask you a question while you're on your point, real quick. Like, do you? Is there a part of you that does think it is beneficial for Dominik to win? Like,
I think Dominik winning, if Rey Mysterio retires or something, I think the way this storyline has been told, Rey should win just based off of that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lesson type thing. Like, right?
You think you could beat me, but you ain't ready. Right?
It's like if you're watching a movie and the kid's been a dick the whole movie. Say you sit through 7 parts of a Netflix series, and the kid's been a dick through all 7 parts, and then on the last part, the kid wins. That's not good storytelling to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason why I think Ray should win. But this is WWE, and maybe they've got a better vision, because I'm afraid of what happens to Dominik once Ray, because Ray is carrying this guy. We got to keep it real. Ray, he is riding the coattails.
I'm not gonna say that, because Dominik was hot. He was when he first started doing this whole prison Dom thing. Like,
the character work from Dom has been great,
bro. Even when Ray moved to SmackDown, they was away from each other, and he wasn't focused on Ray.
I don't remember one wrestler he fought. Everything he's did as a heel has been him talking shit about Ray, whether Ray is directly there or on another show.
That is true. That is true.
I don't know what Ray, like Dom, like I love the heel turn. I remember us talking about it on this show. I was like, I liked it because it was even what are the goth dudes called?
Judgment Day.
Yeah, even when they didn't even see it coming. You know what I'm saying? And I like that aspect of it. But the problem that I'm seeing with it, if we're looking for from a storyline structure standpoint, is it's just way too attached to Rey Mysterio. And then we have to ask ourselves the question, what is this kid gonna do when Rey Mysterio is not there anymore?
You're not seeing the vision, Chris, because you saying that Rey has been the one carrying down. But I looked down in the sand. There was only one set of footprints, and it was Mommy. It was Mommy who was carrying down all along.
You're doing the
Dominik, as long as he is attached to Rhea Ripley, I think he's gonna be all right, Chris.
He's gonna be just fine, bro.
Let's talk about that, because Rhea is about to be the biggest baby face on the planet after WrestleMania.
Real quick. What Chris said, I think Chris brought up a real interesting point about like him Dominik being attached to Rey, and like I'm gonna spin the block real quick, brother Nate, Chris, real quick, just on a quick point. Maybe a hot take, I don't know, but look, I think that with Sami Zayn, I think that the only reason people cared about Sami as much as they did was because he was attached to the bloodline, and the only reason I'm gonna say that is, look, people say like, oh yeah, it probably would have been a great moment. It would have been a great moment if Sami would have beat Roman at Elimination Chamber. But let me ask you this: there was gonna come a point when Sami was going to have to detach from the bloodline, and he was going to do something else. Right, would you care about what he was doing with whoever was next? And it wouldn't be as great as it. I think that Sami was, and let me say this: Sami added so much to that storyline.
Yes,
it wasn't they carried him. It wasn't none of that. Sami added so much, and he damn near carried them through some points. But like what I'm saying is, that was like a cumulative thing. It wasn't like if he won the title and had to separate from the bloodline the next night, and there was no more attachment, would you care?
That's a good question too.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the only. And I agree with that 100%. I think Sami is on the island of relevancy because of Roman and the bloodline.
It's true, bro.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
The only difference is Sami is a 20-year vet that's been doing that for a while, and I think he'll be able to swim on his own once
he got enough goodwill built up.
Yeah,
right.
And because I do think I don't think WWE is gonna have a choice. They are gonna have to take Mommy away from Rey Mysterio. Did you see
Dominik?
Away from Dominik. Did you see SmackDown last night when Rhea came out there and Charlotte came out there, and the way they reacted to Rhea? They've been telling a babyface
story for Charlotte,
they thought they were telling the babyface story for Charlotte. They were telling the babyface story for Rhea.
Which is why Charlotte should have been fighting Bianca, because Charlotte's a natural heel.
Yeah, since January, man. Rhea Ripley has been bossing up to men. She went into the Royal Rumble, was the #1 entrant, threw all those women out to be the last woman standing. Talked her, called out Charlotte, talked her shit about Charlotte, and is now the biggest face they have on SmackDown at the moment. This is not, from a narrative standpoint, this is horrible storytelling, right? Because you got the people cast in the wrong position. So if they're taking, so they're not gonna keep Rhea with Dominik if she's getting cheered like that. And then Dominik is going to be away from Rey. So this will be and I'm not saying Dominik won't rise to the occasion. I don't know, but this is going to be a test for him. He's going to go through a few crucibles once he's once he ain't got Mommy or Ray anymore, man.
And well, to be fair to Dom, though, like all second generation stars go through that, or third generation stars. Yeah. Like we talked about Devante for about 30-40 minutes on this program. Devante has some lean times. He has some some hard times, if you will, Andrew Thompson. So I think in the immediate aftermath, yes, you could see a dip with Dominik Mysterio, but this character, and I think that's the thing. Like his wrestling has always been kind of okay, it's cool, whatever. But the character work that he's shown these past few months, I've been like, there's something to this kid if he can continue to grow and hone that.
Yeah. But the thing with Cody is the best chess player in wrestling. Who's better at chess? This fool did that Stardust bullshit for as long as he can.
That's because Cody can relate to both the black pieces on the chessboard as well as the white pieces. He sees the whole board, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. He quit his pops died. He was like, "There's no reason for me to stay here anymore." I remember I was.
Let me get the close up on the nephew. People watching need to see the nephew. That's just.
Yeah. I remember being home on a random Sunday, watching a Jaguars game. This was a couple years ago, and I saw Cody Rhodes in the press box with the Khans. I was like, what in the hell is Cody Rhodes doing in the press box with the Khans? And then not that long after, they announced that indie show in Chicago. Yeah, All In. I went to that live too. Like my Cody Rhodes. Like if you can be the biggest Cody Rhodes hater on the planet.
So hey, real quick, I wanted to read Chad comment. He said Bloodline got Sammy pushed, but Sammy had the skills and personality to take himself to the next level. Yeah, that's more than I can say. No, that's fact. That's fact. Yeah, he worded that better than I. Yeah. But I still stand with my point that I think that was a cumulative thing in terms of them boosting up each other. But Chad did make a very good point about. I think that Sammy I think that leaves credence to what Kris was saying about Sammy having that experience and just more so just being like the overall better performer when you comparing him and Dominik, of course. Like I'm talking about, Sammy got him checked on everything, but
and shout out to Chad, our homie.
You ain't had to do Dom like that though, Chad, calling him the Latino Eric Watts. You ain't had to do that, bro.
He said Eric Watts. All right, so real quick, we got one more match left on this Mania.
Better than Eric Watts.
We got two more matches left. We could just breeze through these so we go get about it. So we already overran. But you know what? It's the WrestleMania season.
It's WrestleMania season. Look, as long as this show it's still less than a third long as the 2 nights of WrestleMania combined. Yeah, that's gonna be some long ass wrestling, fellas.
There you go. So we got
viewers to support too.
Oh yeah, real quick on Nate, who you got? I know what Kris. I don't think you said your prediction, but who you got? Ray or Dom?
Oh, I'm going with Dom begrudgingly, but I think from a storyline aspect, Ray should win just because of the story they've been telling.
What you got, Nate?
I'm going Dom because I think if, storyline aside, Ray wants to give Dom this springboard, but also what got Ray into this fight is maybe the most relatable and real story WWE has portrayed, because I think all three of us, Andrew, we've had that moment maybe when we were 11, 12, 13, where we thought we was grown and we mouthed off to our mother and Pops had to come in and lay the smack down. Yeah. So when Ray had to step up for his wife, I was like, yeah, this is good storytelling. It's not the best in terms of a narrative, Kris, but it's real.
It's real. That's the thing. From a narrative standpoint, it's not going to be good if Ray loses, but for what they're trying to do in WWE, this is wrestling.
Yeah,
it's
the wrestling business, Kris.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say I don't think Dominik gets it clean. I'm gonna say that Damian Priest. I'm gonna say Damian Priest helps Dominik, and then to offset Damian Priest, Ray's gonna bring in Bad Bunny, and that's when we get that tag match at Backlash in Puerto Rico. And we're gonna do it like that. So next up, the second of the last two matches, the first of the last two matches we're gonna talk about, we got Hell in a Cell, Finn Balor versus Edge. I'm gonna say Edge get the W over Finn. I'm gonna say Edge get the W. What you thinking, Nate?
This might be the least interested I've been in a Hell in a Cell match in a long time, nephew.
And ever for me, and ever. Like I care more about the
I'm sure there's been a
wait.
match.
Hey, Nate, real quick, just to add in, do you think that Balor being the demon adds anything extra to you, or do you just not care about that demon?
No, man, because here's the thing: we just seen this man Finn Balor, and I like Finn Balor. Like Finn Balor's a hell of a performer. But we just seen this man go to the demon bag multiple times, Andrew, and still take a L. Yeah. So I'm gonna go. You know what? Edge. Screw it. I'll go with Edge.
What you thinking, Kris? Hey, Kris, same question. Do you think the demon adds anything for it, or just don't cut it for you no more?
You put on some makeup and now you're the baddest. I never liked that shit. You sit through 3 hours of a makeup job,
and he wrestles the same, the exact same.
Yes,
exactly. So that's cool. I think that Edge probably gonna win because I cared about, and this was horrible build as well when Undertaker and Big Boss Man were fighting.
Big Boss
Here we go, Big Boss
Big
Man.
Boss Man.
Undertaker fucking
He hung him.
Chris back on his Ray trailer grind.
This motherfucker lynches this guy. It was so stupid. I cared about that more than this. I never seen a public fucking lynching before.
Damn.
I don't want to see another one. But I just don't
Big
care
Boss
about.
Man.
I love
Fucking
Finn
Ray
Balor.
Trailer, man.
I love Finn Balor. I love Edge. I do not care about them together. This reminds me of the first time where J-Lo and Ben Affleck got together.
Wow.
Separately, you like them both. Together in that first run, they just got on your nerves.
He said the first run.
The first time.
Now they're not as annoying as they used to be. But if you were around in the 2000s, man, Benifer was an annoying couple. It just was. Yeah.
Chris preferred Puffy and J-Lo.
Yeah, Puffy and J-Lo.
Hey, Chris. So Chris, on the prediction side, who you think gonna take Edge or Finn?
Edge. I'll just say Edge.
Or Big Bubba Rogers.
And so our last match of the night, man. We already talked about the main events of the card, but we got SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair defending against Rhea Ripley. I think that they are going to give Rhea the W, and this is going to be Triple H, quote unquote, righting that wrong from Mania 36 when Charlotte defeated Rhea for the NXT Championship. Brother Nate, can go to you first, and then Chris, you finish us off, brother.
I'm gonna answer your question with a question of my own, Andrew Thompson.
How
in the hell do you have Bianca Belair and Asuka on one side, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley on the other side, and not have a damn good story in between either one of those matches? Like, we know the matches are gonna be great because all 40s performers are great. Like, I think Rhea and Charlotte had a banger in that COVID era WrestleMania.
Yeah,
like,
they did.
Like, they had a great match, and so I think the match is gonna be good. They have completely misbooked this in terms of Charlotte Flair as this babyface that they want people to rally behind. It ain't gonna happen. Everybody's gonna be here for mommy. Like, that's what the people are here for. Hell of a match. Charlotte should be fighting Bianca. That's I'm gonna go to the grave with this. But I think Rhea Ripley gets the dub, Andrew.
Yeah, I agree with Nate. I think from a storyline perspective, I think that Rhea should have probably been wrestling Bianca this year. Mm-hmm. But I said on a show that I did with you, Nate, and our homies from the Place to Be the Nation, that I could see Rhea picking Charlotte because like I said earlier, they've got other plans for Bianca at the moment. And Rhea needs to win. Whoever Rhea was going to wrestle this year, she needed to win. And if you didn't want her beating Bianca, Charlotte is the next best thing to beat. Especially since she's already lost to Charlotte. I think that Rhea's got to be the woman for the foreseeable future.
So for the SmackDown side, yeah.
At least for the SmackDown side,
because they ain't got nobody over there.
Yeah, and then
Andrew, hold on, Chris. I got I don't like to call the nephew out in public like this, man. But Andrew, how we gonna, I get on Chris for his Omar slander. How we gonna sit out here and slander? If I can get the camera working, there we go. How we gonna sit out here and slander the good hard work ethic and all American heartland values of one Lacey Evans, Chris.
Oh my God,
Andrew, how we gonna do that?
Okay, Andrew is right, man.
I don't think I've ever heard Chris just capitulate to Andrew that quickly.
No, come on, man. Rhea is the woman on SmackDown.
Yes, especially with no Ronda Rousey around.
Yeah,
yeah,
like at least not in the title picture.
You want to know what? I think that's going to be the match at Backlash. I think it's going to be Rhea versus Ronda for the SmackDown.
I'm here for
Women's
it.
title. I think that's going to be the match. But like going on what we were saying about Bianca, bro. Bianca, that's the top dog in the women's division right now. That's the you know what I'm saying? They like what. I think Kris and I think both you and I think both of y'all would agree. Like I think when you start seeing them sending these wrestlers on like these like mainstream media, like representing the company type stuff, like it's like clear as day, like what they see in said individual. Like they pushing Bianca hard right now, but it's no point in messing with that.
And as you've been saying all night, Andrew, we're seeing the seeds that Triple H planted start to blossom, and Bianca's certainly one of those.
She won. I'm about to say real quick, Kris, on the point that you had mentioned earlier, like, dude, like a part of me wants to see that heel run, but bro, they got too much right now with Bianca.
Money, man.
Like Kris, even what you were saying about like the little kids and the braid, and you know what I'm saying. Like
they can't sell DoorDash, Andrew.
You can't. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's I think they got too much money right now.
Yeah, like I saw this little girl on YouTube. If you guys haven't, she's like. Bianca hugged her, and there was like literal tears coming out this girl's eyes, and she was just so happy just to be in the presence of Bianca. They don't want to mess with that right now because they don't got anybody else to do that.
And the
thing about
they ain't crying over Carmella.
Yeah, and the thing about
they ain't
Bianca,
crying for Chelsea Green,
right? And the thing about Bianca and Rhea Ripley that I think the fans are taken to.
They're likable.
Neither one of them are cookie cutter. Also, right? They are both like super unique, and they are
young.
Not like it's not like they were they were put in a WWE superstar factory or a WWE diva factory. They are
like Nia Jax. They're not like most girls.
Yeah, exactly. Like Nia Jax. Right?
You said like Nia Jax. So fellas. That's all we got for that WrestleMania card. But look, there is one thing that I did want to talk about from that weekend, right? Brothers, it's so much wrestling happening that weekend, man. We got Bloodsport, we got ROH Super Card of Honor taking place. Shout out to them AEW says ROH for doing that Reach for the Sky tag title ladder match in honor of that good man Jay Briscoe. So shout out to them for doing that. It's so much, bro. We got Georgia, another spring break, bro. It's so much different types of wrestling going on right now that weekend. But I did want to mention something while we're on the topic of WWE, real quick. Y'all think that brother Carmelo Hayes taking the title from Braun Breaker at Stand and Deliver? Is it time? Is Carmelo getting his shine, or is Braun Breaker going to retain the title? Which just a quick one, real quick before we wrap it up. I know we hitting 3 hours, but I think Carmelo about to take it, and I think they about to send Braun on his way.
Yeah, I mean there's. Much like the NBA, Kris, for years, it was about that matchup between Carmelo and LeBron. And here we are again. You got LeBron Breaker, Carmelo Hayes.
I think the puns.
I think it's time for Carmelo, not only because it's his time, Andrew, but I also think like Braun Breaker, what else is left on NXT? I think it's time to move him up.
Yeah, I think the bloom is off the rose with Braun Breaker at the moment. And Carmelo is the only. Anytime I flip to NXT, which
anytime you watch this quote unquote garbage show, Kris?
Which is a garbage fucking show, but anytime I watch NXT, Carmelo is always the most interesting part of it, man. The guy is
charisma, man.
He's gotta be he's gotta win, and then Braun Breaker, they are gonna have to throw him into the deep water eventually, and I think they're afraid of doing that with Braun Breaker.
Can this man be a Steiner again when he comes back up to the main roster?
Hey, Kris, I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. I think the best option for Braun Breaker, they might have to call him up. I saw this idea on Twitter. I think it might be safer to call him up in the trio with the Creed brothers. Like, and make them like a trio. Because like Kris, I ain't gonna lie to you. I think Braun Breaker is good, but like I don't know, man. Like but him being on the main roster by himself, I don't know, man.
He's good, but the way that the current garbage version of NXT is structured, it's not lending himself to.
He a big fish in a small pond.
Right? Yeah. Like with the old NXT, it was constant growth. It was constant.
Right.
Hey, Chris, with that old NXT, he wasn't gonna cut it. Now with Malachi Black and Keith Lee and
I think
Ricochet.
they could have carried him to be decent,
but he wouldn't have been the guy.
Who on NXT, the garbage version, is carrying anybody and grooming them for success? There's just
Tony
no
D'Angelo.
When I'm thinking like somebody like right now that's having like, if you're talking about just in ring wise, that I think somebody that's like bringing everybody he's in the ring with to the next level, Wesley.
Yes.
Yeah, Wesley.
Yes.
Wesley. Yeah, Wesley. And Wesley and not everybody could get the rub off of Wesley. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, Wesley, I'll give you that. I will 100%.
Yeah, that dude.
He putting on bangers, bro.
Yo,
like,
for
he
real.
ain't missed.
And look, as a man of a certain height, I'm not one to disparage another brother for being a certain height. But if Wesley were like 3 feet taller, this man would be a world champion on the main roster, as good as he is.
Yeah.
Well, Wesley up next, bro. Like, I mean, I think that he's done like a great job in the singles role. He I think that match at that match he's in at Stand and Deliver gonna be a banger. It's gonna be him.
Yep.
Dragon Lee making his debut.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on who else gonna be in the match right now. That's Wesley, Dragon Lee, Ilya Dragunov, and JD McDonough, and then it's gonna be a fifth person in that match. I think that's gonna be a show stealer right there.
And I'm already fact checking myself, Andrew. I meant to say 1.5 feet taller, because if he was 3 feet taller, he'd be like 8 feet tall. That's just ridiculous. We know Chris hates tall black brothers. We've established that. He says they move awkwardly, they can't wrestle.
Hey, if I say brother Nate, that's all we got though, man.
That's all we got. Hey, Andrew Thompson led us through the WrestleMania preview. Shout out to the nephew for
notes.
Taking us. He got notes, y'all.
Taking
us through the grandest match, the grandest spectacle of them all. It's late on the East Coast. It's been a long day.
I'm about to say Nate, my device on 10, brother.
Yeah. So we've gone from WrestleMania to a WCW pay-per-view in the 90s. We're running out of time. We got to go, folks. So let's go around the horn one last time. Any plugs? Anybody you want to shout out? Andrew Thompson, the youngest in charge. What you got going on? I know it's about to be a busy week for you, brother. So let the people know what you got going on.
You can check out my interviews, my YouTube channel, Andrew Thompson Interviews. I'm uploading some clips probably tomorrow. After I finish up the news and all that good stuff, and you check out my written work over at postwrestling.com. Myself, Brother Neil, and Brother Polly, we about to kill it next week on the news beat, and have y'all all updated on everything that's to come. And then after WrestleMania, I am going to take a break because your brother is going to be. I am planning on going to Cleveland. Cleveland, Ohio, for the Cleveland Cavaliers NBA playoffs for the first round.
Okay.
So I'm going to put my all in during WrestleMania week. I'm going to bust my ass on the writing scene, and then I am going to go enjoy myself to watch my Cavs hopefully get 2 wins in the NBA playoffs at home. Hopefully.
Okay. Andrew Thompson, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Thompson. Support the brother. Follow the brother's work. Check out, you on YouTube anyway right now if you're watching live. Check out the Andrew Thompson Interviews YouTube channel, because this brother's been putting in work for a minute. So yes, enjoy your well-deserved rest in cold-ass Cleveland, Andrew Thompson. Chris, I know it's about to be a crazy week for you, brother. The mayor pro tem of Los Angeles, California, the entire wrestling world is coming to your backyard, Chris.
Yeah.
Stars, luminaries.
Wale
Mania. Chris and Omos for the first time, one night only. Chris, let the people know where they can find you, and any big plans for WrestleMania week besides bobbing and weaving.
Yeah, the biggest plan that I have this year is I'm going to be at Wale Mania. And I'm going to be chopping it up with Emilio Sparks and whoever else is there, probably Andreas and Marcus Vanderberg, our homies.
Shout out Marcus.
Marcus Vanderberg. Shout out Andreas Hale.
Yeah, look forward to seeing those guys, man. I don't get to see them all the time in person. Marcus, we both just work all the goddamn time, so there's no excuse for us not to kick it more. It's just he lives on the other side of town, and I live in Monrovia. We're about
Marcus Vanderberg got the biggest house on the biggest side of town.
Yeah. He's big time in everybody.
Marcus Vanderberg spent more money on spilt liquor this year.
Yeah. But yeah, so just Wale Mania is in the immediate future.
Okay.
I got like this has been the craziest.
Y'all ain't about to crash Chris at Stand Deliver at 9 a.m.
Yeah. And I finished my PhD program in 2021.
Okay,
but I didn't get to graduate because they were doing that virtual shit, and I didn't want to participate in that.
Chris said, "I'm gonna wait till I could do it for real."
Yeah. But I'm doing it on June the 9th, and then
congratulations, brother.
Chris.
And then the very next day, I'm getting married. So
this man Chris,
Big time.
You ain't ready. So this man Chris got a whole schedule planned out. Fighting Omos, walking the stage, getting married. Brother is booked and busy and blessed.
And if Omos manages to win, I will kiss the ring. I got no problem doing that. But that's not gonna happen.
We do need if you do run into Omos at Wale Mania, we do need
please get the picture, bro. Please get the picture, bro.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I don't know what my backstage access is gonna be because Emilio said he doesn't know how press is gonna work for the event. So it just really depends on how press is gonna work. All that, but I was at the first Wale Mania in San Francisco, and I haven't been down
since day one.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go to this next one, and I just and this is the first Emilio produced one that I've been to, so I think it's gonna be off the chain, man. I am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to showing my lady how we wrestling. She got a taste of it at Post Wrestling Day in New Jersey and New York. But she didn't really get the Wale Mania.
No, she about to see for real at Wale Mania.
Yeah, this is my girlfriend. This is my fiance's WrestleMania or wrestling fandom stereotyping. The very first time she saw Stephanie Chase, and I think I was watching Stephanie
Shout
Chase
out to Steph.
and Nate do a show, and then she was like, "Wow, pretty girls watch wrestling." So that was her exact words. And then I was watching Chrissy Love and SP3, and then she was like, "Wow, black pretty girls watch wrestling." My girlfriend. So like I want Wale Mania to be. I want to show her
the gateway drug.
Yeah, that she needs to go somewhere with her bullshit stereotyping. Yeah. And that's it.
Send us home, brother Nate.
Yes. If you want to hear more from me, let's get Chris off the stage. Chris got a lot to get ready for. So let's get Chris off the stage. Bam, and put me front and center. StreamYard trying to do me like they was doing Andrew earlier.
Yeah.
StreamYard is hating on a brother just trying to get ahead. Bam. Okay, so for me, first of all, shout out to everybody that's watched tonight. Super chats, we've appreciated the love. If you're listening in the future, you can hit us up on social media and let us know how our opinions went. In terms of our predictions, want to give a special shout out again to SP3 for joining us this week. I always appreciate that brother's insights, even when he is tearing down national heroes like Cody Rhodes, and that's the difference between Cody and SP3. Cody is a uniter, SP3 is a divider, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Even though we love the brother Sid, if you want more from me, of course you can check me out here at Post Wrestling for the NWA podcast, which you are listening to. We drop this every month, ladies and gentlemen. But also for the Rocky Maivia Picture Show, which is still out there in the atmosphere. And here's the thing: I was gonna bring it back this month, Andrew, but somebody said Rock was gonna be back for WrestleMania, so I was like, maybe I should wait until Rock beats Roman at WrestleMania, like somebody had predicted. and then I could drop. Then I could drop the episode.
Yeah.
Right.
So somebody, I don't point fingers on this program.
I never said The Rock was gonna be back. I said if he's back.
And you wouldn't put this person on the front screen either.
I would not do that, man. Like, look, we a team here, Andrew. One band, one sound. We move forward together.
You're treating me like Coach Tony Hill. For those of you who know, you know.
If you know, you know. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to hear more from me outside of post wrestling, check out the Kings of Sport podcast. Kris is basically my official co-host now. You know, we still unofficial. You know, he's an honorary king. I got him in the Sami Zayn shirt. But Kris has been holding it down since Marcus Vanderberg departed. We put out an episode earlier this month where we talked, or it might have been late last month. I can't even remember. Time is crazy. But we talked about the Super Bowl. We also had an episode following the Royal Rumble. I'm sure we'll do something following WrestleMania and wrapping up the NCAA tournament, which is going on right now as well. So keep your eyes and ears out for the Kings of Sport. This is our 10-year anniversary this month, March. Marks 10 years of the Kings of Sport. We started back in 2013, so to still be doing it in 2023 is a blessing. If y'all want to hear more from the Kings of Sport, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/the Kings of Sport. $5 gets you in the door. I know it's tax time, so you can reach down in those pockets. I know you got a little more jingle in your jangle than maybe at other times of the year. So $5. Check out the Patreon. Andrew's been on the Patreon. Kris has been on the Patreon. Over 200 hours of audio and video. Check that out. The other thing I will promote is, as Kris mentioned, Place to Be Nation is where I'm a part of the Main Event podcast, and I'm sure we'll be doing some big WrestleMania coverage over there. I'm also part of the Multiverse of Color, which was formerly known as DCTV Podcast, where I'm part of the Lituation Room with Brittany Monet, Clement Bryant, and Kris's favorite, the Honorable Vanessa Shark. So I'm everywhere on these podcast streets. I work too much at the shoot job. I do football and basketball games on the side for the high schools around here. But what I'm here to do, ladies and gentlemen, is talk to you on these podcast streets. So check me out on Twitter at N8 MOZAIK at Nate Mosaic on Twitter. And as we get out of here before Andrew gets kicked out of StreamYard one last time, want to give a shout out to John Pollock and Wade Ting, the proprietors of Post Wrestling, for giving us the platform here, allowing us to do the show each and every month with very little editorial input, you know, and so that's a blessing to be able to do this each and every month. We got the book, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about whatever we want to, including Ray Traylor. You know, we go wherever we want to go in these conversations. So that is going to do it. If you're heading out to LA, be safe. Enjoy yourselves.
Don't wear too much red. Don't wear too much blue.
Don't
be safe.
Yeah. Wear neutral colors. Wear neutral.
Some of y'all think that's a joke. I'm being serious.
If you know, you know. Wear neutral colors or maybe pastels. Can they get away with pastels?
Pastels.
Yeah, you can get away with whatever you want to wear. Just
like a canary yellow or powder blue. Can they rock that?
Don't be out there all red shirt, red jeans, red shoes.
Don't be trying to represent anything. Is all.
Yes. You might think that's a cute little day one Uso shirt, but day one might be your last day if you wear it in the wrong part of town. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my God, hey Brad, the world is so hilarious, bro. It really is, bro.
But yes, this is the biggest week, like we said, Andrew, for wrestling, not just WWE, but for all these other companies that are headed to LA. So everybody out there, have fun, enjoy yourselves, enjoy the moment, show love to that man, Cody Devante Rhodes, stay out of that man Omos's way. Show Kris some love if you're in the area and you see the professor. Get that man Kris some love. I wish I could be out there. I plan to be out there, but things didn't work out. But and if you are able to get out to LA, enjoy yourself. And if you're like the rest of us watching from home, Post Wrestling has got you covered. John Pollock, Wei Ting, the whole Post universe, they got you covered for this WrestleMania week. Andrew Thompson gonna be in there. Our man Neil, the whole crew. I don't know who else gonna be there. John ain't gave me the itinerary, but it's gonna be a lot of people talking about a lot of wrestling. So keep it locked here on Post. And that is gonna do it for the NWA podcast for the month of March. We will see y'all in April for our WrestleMania post-mortem, as Kris has so aptly called it. So yeah, for the nephew, Andrew Thompson, for the professor, Kris from LA, I am the Godfather, Nate
for
Milton.
Phil Brooks.
For the Muffin Man, Phil Brooks, for SP3, and for Righteous Reg, who blessed us with the theme song you hear before and after every episode of the NWA podcast. I am the Godfather, Nate Milton. Enjoy WrestleMania week.
Yeah.
And we will see y'all next month, because the revolution may not be televised, but it damn sure will be podcasted.
Yo, it's Righteous Reg. It's a case for the safe, keep a space for the Nubians. Unfiltered, off kilter, the professor, the Godfather, post wrestling the NWA, not keep guessing, The views and expressions, you know the rest, it's pod excellence, get the message. Advocates for Nubian wrestling, you're listening to the best again. Black wrestling in the ring we invested in. Nubian kings and queens we invested in. It's for the culture and we reppin' it. It's for the culture and we reppin' it.